Boom, 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 boom. Good morning, people. Dun, 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 dun. Sticker, 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 stickers, sticker, 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 stickers. I'm off the sticker now today. Stickers. Dun, 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 dun. Stickers, 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 stickers. Who is that? Dun, 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 dun. For the love of the stickers. People will keep them killing government. I don't know what I'm gonna sing this morning. Money. The stickers. We gotta go with the sticker now. Y'all notice they just cured the war on terror? Y'all notice cuckoo virus cured the war on stickers. A lot of things we can talk about today. Let me greet people real quick. I'm gonna try to keep up with times today. For the love of stickers, some people got to have it, got to have them stickers. Hey, hey. Some people really need it. Got to have them stickers and flair. Oh, do things, do things. Clap for your government, do bad things. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Dale. Good things with it. Yeah, you can do good things, but you got to realize Master got a sticker printer. Good morning, everybody. Let people come in. Master has a sticker printer. Master has a sticker. Y'all notice that the same reason they divide slaves up on plantations is the same reason that they turned race and racism into an industry, and all sides are looking to retire well on it. Seems like this isn't going away. I was hoping TDS being cured would cure the racism industry. Apparently not. They're still playing this game for the long term. I think racism went from an industry to a tool of all industries. Right? All sides looking to retire on it. They need to retire on it. And how do you retire on such a tool in an industry? It's growth, all sides. Good morning, everybody. You have to have people close to master. They get the best stickers. And you convince them it's because their skin color, their skin tone. Oh, because they're women or men. But actually, women, oh, goodness, we're not going to go through that. We're not going to go through that. I was thinking about that this morning. Oh, my stickers. The whole women part. Like, you realize that everybody is a rape child? You realize that? We're all rape children, rape grandchildren, rape of great great grandchildren, rape of great 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 grand. And no matter how far you go back, because we're from all over the planet. And those were the people who had the least rights, was the people unlike me. For the love of stickers. And why did all that happen? For the love of stickers. A whole lot of stickers. Crazy things happening this morning. A whole bunch of stuff we could talk about. But not crazy, not cray like on the TV crazy. Ain't no insurrection. But see, look at that. Look at her. See, this is why we're right here. Look, because you watch that damn television. It's making you crazy as hell. And you driving us all to hell. Don't believe that TV. We need a firm separation of state and stickers. State and censored science. State and all. You know, I was thinking another thing this morning as I try to get ready here is Parler. I have to be honest with you. I didn't see no racism on Parler. I didn't see any white supremacy. I didn't see any of that stuff. You know what I saw on Parler mostly, which got me thinking? They always lie about stuff. They always make up an excuse to do something for money. Everything is economics in my world. I don't know. Your world is virtue signaling. Mine is economics. Is what I saw most on Parler. The reason I joined, they were telling me I should be over there for a long time, was because you had scientists who weren't censored there. You had doctors, you had peer review parlaying, because parler in French, it means to talk. Parler. And so they were talking peer reviewed science. They were talking healthy things. So I think Parler, the reason they lost out had nothing to do with no white supremacy, to fight the most violent people on the planet. They got tanks and bombs and they need damn tanks to had the first transition team in the history of the country to need tanks and helicopters. That should tell you something right there. But no, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think because there was uncensored science there, and that affects trillions of dollars, you know, and that's what I think is really going on. So I don't talk about the red pill, and I don't talk about the blue pill. I think in the Matrix there is no blue pill, right? The default is the blue pill. More, what's his name, Neo? He could have just walked right out. He could have just, he didn't have to take the blue pill. That's a sugar pill. That's a placebo. That's a sugar pill. That's a comorbidity with the cuckoo virus. The default is to get stickers because we're like little children. Y'all remember the movie? What's this, Office Space? If you have not watched Office Space, that's your homework. That is us. That is us right here. I'm gonna stick with the sticker analogy because it's working. It's work. It fits in too many places. That virtue signaling sticker, that house, that car, that income. Brother Jonathan, he got his stickers yesterday. They're sending out the new stickers. The what is that? The stimulus stickers. They're sending those out in card format. And yes, flair. That's what in the movie is called, flair. I call them stickers because that's what Susan said. That actually makes some damn sense. It's just stickers. That's all it is. And we all run. Oh, mommy, I got some stickers. Mommy, I got a new job. Mommy, the slave master gave me new stickers because they got to keep the slaves fighting over how many stickers they got. And that keep you fighting over anything: your religion, your skin color, your skin tone, your tribe, where you come from, the type of food you eat, if you want to be an organic human or a synthetic human for Bill Gates and somebody else. You just got to keep the slaves fighting. The only purpose, the only reason master has a plantation is because he's convinced you to fight with other people who don't have the sticker printer. All right. Follow that analogy. The sticker printer. They print the money. This is all fake and false. We can 3D print houses, cars, cell phones, laptops. You don't have to blow up other poor people to steal from them. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I just put a lot out in a bunch. Listen, about what y'all want to do today? There was a great Max Egan that just got released. We can listen to that. There was a Corbett. There's a great Corbett. I didn't watch it yet. I know it's great because he says he got deleted or he can't upload on Google Tube. So you know what's coming. So Big Tech has joined the military police state. So it is the plantation's blacksmith shop. So that's what they're going to be using to make the weapons. Talking about that. Kim Iverson had a good one this morning. China. China. I love the fact that she just always fits right in the middle. She doesn't join any of y'all little ignorant teams. She does not want to be in either of your cults, but she's telling the truth about China. And what I need to know is, does China, do they have a is there a 10-day waiting period for the Pentagon, or can they accept delivery right away? Because you know what's going to happen via the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, though. Because the Rothschilds got that central bank in China. They own China too, and via Rothschild Bank for Rockefeller Minerals to make Rockefeller goods and products to make stickers to bring them to your country to sell to you. China might use that Pentagon to go blow up things in China, and then maybe that's why China never invested in putting military in Africa, in third world countries where they're stealing resources with the Rothschilds and Rockefellers via other nations, because nations don't exist. It's just big corporations and industries robbing and colonizing. That colonizer consciousness. But maybe that's why they never put a military out there. They always knew they were just going to buy the Pentagon. Well, so in our country, you got a 10-day waiting period for weapons. Good morning. Hey, oh, there go Dale. Oh, look, Dale already hit it. Good morning, comrades. Because we're going to go to communism-ish. Not really, but ish. We don't have capitalism-ish. Corporations don't have capitalism. You said the problem is capitalism. No, the problem is you don't read. You actually don't have a government. You have a corporation. They don't give two damns. You can have communism, capitalism, socialism. What's that? Bhutan got the government, got the gross domestic happiness. You can have all the gross domestic happiness. You can have all of that. You can have a resource-based economy from under a corporation. You're still going to be a commodity. All right. So I think we really got to always go deeper and deeper. Take the true red pill that does not feel good, that does not come with stickers. Good morning, Dale. We were comrades. Does anybody know the Chinese national anthem? Because we're going to have to learn that joke. I'm going to have to go back to Mandarin. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma, people. Ni hao is high, and ni hao ma means endearing to people. Ni hao. It's coming. It's not racist. And the jacked up part is Chinese women, some of the most prettiest women on this planet. That's the damn problem. But then again, I say that about every ethnicity because it's just me. I don't know. It's just something about women. That's what's wrong with the world. These God made women. God should never have made women. If men were just here on the planet, we'd have done nothing. We'd have sat and just beat each other in the head with some rocks and rub them together. That's why we make wheels, people. That's why men get up and take showers and baths and clean the house, cut the grass. This is for women. If God didn't make women, we wouldn't have no problem. Women are the problem, y'all. Look, oh, Lord have mercy. Look at this. This is a red pill. This is a real pill. Women are the problem. Look at that. Look at that. Because if women didn't exist, they just see in the middle, ask John, he's laughing right there because he knows that's a scholar. That's the professor right there. Hit tape. Because if women weren't here, what would we do? What would we do? What would we do? We would sit and just beat each other in the head. We'd get some, oh, look, Jonathan found some sticks. Let's hit the sticks together. We'd hit the sticks. Like, oh, but I don't want to hurt you. There's no reason to kill you because you ain't got nothing to steal so I can get some women. We'd be in the cage. We wouldn't have been fired. We wouldn't have done nothing. We'd just be oonga booging walking around the place. See, they laughing because they know it's real. Women are the problem. Can we get that hashtag women are the problem? And we've been saying that since the beginning of time, but this is with the real understanding of who actually runs this world. I'm going to tell you that. Every war, all minerals, Rothschilds and Rockefellers, they got women. That's why they do it too. Just, yeah. All right, I'm sorry. It's the most powerful substance on the planet. All right, no stop. Hey, good morning, Mark. Good morning. That's a red pill for you. Good morning, everybody. Y'all doing this morning? How your mama doing? What you think? What we gonna watch today? Oh, Ron Paul had a good one too. So no, Kim Iverson was talking about China. She explained that to you. That was great. And the other one was Ron Paul. He had another good one this morning. But the fact that they got rid of Corbett, the Corbett's got his first foot out the door. Y'all know this is the end. Big tech is coming for the booty cheeks, boy. I'm gonna tell you what. Military industrial complex is joined up with big tech, billions of dollars. It is the new slave plantation. And to me, I don't think it would have mattered if Trump was there or not. I don't, to me, I think money runs the world. Y'all know that. So I'm not anti-Trump, not pro-Trump. I'm just glad all my Trump friends, I thought yesterday was the official day. It's not. Today is the official day. You guys are cured of racism. Congratulations. There's no more reason for it. Then you can shut that industry down unless it's just doing too good. That's my fear. My fear is that this industry is doing too good, but you got that scapegoat out. Now they got to find another scapegoat so they don't have to fix anything. Go find somebody else. Hey, Brother David, good morning. Good morning, fellowship, serfs, and worthless eaters. That's who we are, David. And once we realize that, we can stop arguing over silly, stupid stuff like skin color and religion and political parties and all that stuff. And when we do that, we can go get that sticker printer from Master. You can 3D print the whole world if you want to. We can go be human beings again instead of these little commodities. Hey, howdy. Good morning, Deborah. Let me get down some comments, see what y'all think about my first initial thoughts. And if that makes some sense, whatever, move on, watch something else. China has a backdoor Trojan. Yes, China has it. Everybody has an anus. Whoever said that? Who said Let me go down. Who said that? You're being nasty this morning. It's too early. Oh, David. China has a backdoor Trojan horse built into all the microprocessors of the computers used, by the Pentagon and the power grid. It had to be China, David. Here's the problem, David, you read. You need to stop reading so damn much. He understands are you an IT guy? He must be an IT guy. You understand that, they got a backdoor to everything. It's what the CIA did. Said, nah, nobody can get this. My little nasty pics on my phone are private. Nope, they got all of them. But I didn't select the cloud. You don't have to. They've been carving back doors and getting keys since the beginning. They got access to everything from the Pentagon perspective and then from a China perspective, which is what the whole Huawei thing was about, right? Because they need to know everything. And there's only 2 countries that got that ability right now. That's China and that's America. So you got to pick and choose who you want to rule the world, but you're going to pick somebody who to rule the world that has the infrastructure to make sure none of the slaves got no secrets, because slaves like to get together in them shacks, start carving up, little sharp things. And that's why they need the damn military to bring the transition team. That's not a transition team. No, that's because somebody somewhere is actually realizing how corrupt the system is. And they're probably planning something stupid, something violent. It's not going to work. Don't even worry about it. People, once again, I thought yesterday was the end of the world to suspect the end of the world. No, it's today. Ain't not going to happen. Nothing significant. Everything that happens today is what they bless, because what Brother David just said, they already know what's going on. They knew Charlottesville before it happened. Every riot this year, they knew before it happened. What happened in Washington the other day, they knew that before. They know everything. They know where you shop, what you buy, what you like, what you don't like, where you're going, everything is about control. They capture all that data, to keep all the data. They have a predictive analysis, a master computer that predicts in the future what you're going to do based on what happens. And that's what news they show you. And this is why you're crazy right here. Like, see how she got that face? She has that face because, that's what the TV's meant to do. It's made to make you get pissed. Everything on television is an advertisement. Everything is a commercial, from the news to the weather to everything else, to get you to buy something and either go buy a sticker, be scared of a sticker, or virtue signal for a sticker. Good morning, Lynn. How you doing this morning? But I think that's what happened to Parler. I think Parler, it was just there was real science on Parler. That's why I joined, I wanted to see what scientists and doctors were actually saying, that what's real science, right? The other side, you know. So we do need a separation of censored science and state. It's not science. Hey, Grand Rising. Good morning, Moon Eyes. How you doing this morning? Well, what do you know? It's a beautiful day. Every day, Jimmy, is a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? But we have a lot of crazy people in the neighborhood. Walk through the neighborhood, Jimmy, and you look through that window, see somebody watching that television. Don't walk on their grass. They kick you in that ass. Moon ass. Good morning. Well, what do you know? It's a beautiful day, which is the new normal too, right? You're not going to be allowed to curse. Look at that. All y'all going to be just like me, except that you might not have brown skin and you might have some hair. Or you might, everybody, yeah, so we're not going to talk about the eggplant and all that stuff. Yeah, because the new normal, what's the name of that movie? Was it Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone? In the future, you're not allowed to curse. That's coming. Y'all better clean your mouth up. I'm telling you. They're going to do, you're not going to get no spitting. You're not going to get no stickers. You cussing online. And I think they already said that's the policy on YouTube, right? YouTube, that the more you cuss, the less they demonetize your video if you drop 2 or 3 F-bombs. That's why Brother Tony ain't never here. Oh, y'all saw Brother Tony join the he joined the FaceApp war yesterday. Y'all see that? He decided he wanted to share some FaceApps with me. Oh yeah, do Tony. Yeah, okay, Tony. All right, everybody join in this world. Ooh, and Brother Norman, he had a great video. He explained to y'all that y'all don't have to worry about Brother Norman. Wait, where's Tony at? He wanted to join in on the war. He decided that, there you go. How do I make this big? See, well, Gerard, if you don't know how to make that big by now, they got drugs for that. Yeah, but those drugs will kill you and they'll flip epigenetic genes and give you other problems in the future. I think the easiest way to do this is if I go to my picture album. Look at that, losing friends. All right, I'm saying something important. I lost a bunch of Trump friends yesterday. Hey, if you got to go, you got to go. Doesn't resonate with you, goodbye. Let the good Lord hit you and kiss you or something where the good Lord split you. Something like that. Let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. And that's fine. You know, I don't believe in hero worship, yo. I think everything is about money and power. Whereas Democrats and Republicans don't exist. Trump doesn't exist. Biden doesn't exist. None, China and America, they don't really exist. Everything is money and power, and they keep you stupid. And that's why we're on a slave plantation, because we can't get together as slaves and decide that the ones closer to master and the ones further away from master don't matter. Ain't none of them got sticker printers. Master prints the stickers and gives them to certain people for certain reasons. And if you do more of what the teacher says, you get more stickers. And the reason we can't get out this damn matrix is because everybody's so addicted to the stickers. Sticker addiction. Where's my damn photo out? It's my friend. I call it my important friends clips. Here we go. Uh-oh. It says one item. What happened? They delete this? No, it's still there. Where Tony at? Oh, but it's mostly it's mostly Harsh, because he's the problem. He is the problem. Have y'all met my psychopathic friend named Harsh Med? Y'all hear him? I thought he used to be a doctor. His name is Harsh Medications. I'm sorry. I want to talk about important things. To me, I think the FaceApp war is important. I'm not sure if I'm winning. I thought I was winning, and then he put me on some chick. Oh my God. It hurt my feelings. I almost hit that report post button. I was about to sell out. I was about to give say, nah, you can't put me on no. It's kids around here. You can't just put me on anybody, buddy. Hold on. Where is here you go. Hey, damn, all my peeps is up in here. Yo, what's going on, Zach? Yeah, the family come through. I don't know why, Zach. I think they just like to laugh at me. That's all. I love them anyway. They all birds of the same phoenix rising. Yes, they are, Dave. They're all same birds together, flock together, do stupid things together, and fight each other and pretend that they're not together, but the leaders at the top are all together. All of them together. I bet you one day in history, the kids are going to be sitting in class like, back in 2021, in 2020, all the leaders of White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the KKK, the Black Panthers, the Democrats, Republicans all got together and figured out how to keep everybody fighting each other to hold up the plantation so they could get more stickers than everybody else. But eventually one day in the future, they realize that Master has a sticker printer and we can just go get the sticker printer and stop being stupid. But, like I said, that's just me. Where's my thing at? Where's my thing at? Well, Gerard, if you don't know where your thing is by now. Oh, Lord, Coco, she's a little bastard. I love her, but I tell you what, she did something to me yesterday. I was upset. I did not like it at all. I was not happy. I felt uncomfortable. That woman has no boundaries. If y'all know, y'all need to delete Coco from your list. Her name is Courtney. If she's on your list, just go ahead and delete her. You don't need her any. She has no boundaries, right? There's some women on this planet, they can't deal with patriarch world. They just crack. And Susan cracking too. She another one. Here go Tony right here. Tony at Cuss Church. You ever see Tony at Cuss Church? Did I share it yet? You got Tony right here. Look at it. Look at it. He's sharing face apps with me. Look at Tony. Y'all see Tony? Doesn't he look nice? Is there sound? I don't hear sound. What's wrong with the sound? Face app faking the funk. Where face app? Here you go. Here you go, Tony. Tony coming back from
All
Facebook
right, then
jail.
keep your secrets.
He's been on a long voyage. Look at Tony. Oh, look. Well, you know what?
All right, then keep your secrets.
This reminds me of the Book of Eli. I think is that the next one, the Book of Tony. Nope, that's not it. That's Harsh doing something. Hold on. I'll do Harsh. Where Tony at? Tony got to be on black. He's sharing face apps with me. What kind of person does that?
All right.
Where is he at? There you go. There you go. See, that's Tony at Cuss Church. He'll tell you about the scriptures and the scripturified, change the things you understand it. You need to go to Cuss Church so he can cuss you out so you understand what's in the scripture. That's Tony Smith. It's Cuss Church. He's supposed to be on yesterday. He's supposed to be on the day before. And supposed to be on today. He keep lying, making stuff up. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Damn it. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. It's Cuss Church, yo. He joined the Face App War. There's a bunch of people in here. But do you got any new ones? Maybe dude. Oh, this is Harsh. Yeah, he was what is this one? He was showing you holistic puncture, acupuncture. He was explaining to, because isn't that where acupuncture came from? Like China, India, somewhere over there. And he explaining to us the ancestral abilities to do acupuncture. That's a new show coming out on Netflix. That one was good. Let me see what else we got. I got a couple ones in here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I had people. Oh, they go. Oh, who is that? No, that's Susan. That's Susan losing her damn mind. She she got that sharpness now. She's not. She used to be all sweet and nice. Everybody loving, light, daddy. That's another one. She losing her damn mind in patriarch world too. She's saying very mean, aggressified things. This is her in a new show on Netflix to show the Americans how to make chicken from crow, because we're gonna have chicken fritters, chicken nuggets, crow McNuggets, and have some crow pasta and some mushrooms. We're gonna have crow, because the crows will make it. The crows are one of the smartest birds in the animal kingdom. The chickens ain't gonna make it. We gonna get them chickens. People gonna eat them, and not me, because I'm a vegetarian. I don't want the cuckoo virus, but the rest of the people gonna eat them chickens up, and y'all gonna be eating crow soon enough. That's right. Do not hit that happy button or laugh button, because you don't know what crow tastes like. I'll never know what crow tastes like. I'm convinced if you put it on basil or something, it might not be too bad, but I'm not trying to eat it. So then I'll go to the professor right here explaining to you how to train birds and to not go crazy around them 4G, 7G, whatever 10G towers, wherever when we get there. That's how to keep your Tweety bird. He's going to teach that to you, Professor Close. And let me see what else we got. Face app. Got to have a face app war. Tony just does too good on face app. Look at his face though, doesn't he feel it? Oh, they go Harsh right there, teaching you how to. It's dating with Harsh. That's gonna be new on Netflix. This is how you date on Harsh. This is how you pick up women and make friends. And
all right then.
No. Where's he at? What is this? The first lessons of the stick up. Oh, you know that was Harsh as a substitute sex. That was the first and last day Harsh medication. Was a substitute teacher for the sex ed class. Sticking with the sharp end. There you go. Him teaching you dating with Harsh. In the new world, in the new normal, he's going to create a new face app, a new dating app for us. Not Tinder. It'll be something else. That was Harsh. And is that it? Are we done? No. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yep, they go Harsh the other day. All right, we're done with that. All right. Did y'all see Coco Fro? Yeah, we did Coco Fro the other day. We won't do Coco Fro again. All right. But we might have to today. She did something mean about me this morning. I remember or yesterday. Oh, it was evil. It was evil. Yeah, I'll be fair. I'm not gonna do censorship. I'll be fair. I won't be your corporation that you think is a government. I'll be fair and show you. Let me see. Is that no? I'll be fair. I mean, it's ugly. You're not gonna want to see it. Nobody wants to see me. Oh, look at this right here. It's important. Chris Hedges. Days of destruction and days of revolt. You don't know what's happening in the world. You need to listen more to Chris Hedges. They explain it to you. And to tell it, oh, Lord have mercy. All right, that one was kind of funny. I'll admit that one. That was kind of That sucks. That sucks.
Unbelievable.
He said this is me after
Gonna set the world on
live
what I'm looking at. Intimate stud nothing
This should be a
middle
rule.
name.
You
Tell me.
shouldn't put penises on other people's heads. That was kind of funny though. Yeah, a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, no, it was harsh. I think Coco did one. It was horrible. Where is it at? It's not her worst. She gets, oh Lord, I'm not going to put the music on this one. I don't even know who, some faloozy, choosy person on television with no clothes on shaking. Look at that. That's ugly. Don't nobody want to see that, man. That's disgusting. Why would you do that to somebody? Oh, look, they removed it. I don't see it on my timeline. Oh, maybe I didn't accept it. Did I not accept it on my time? I have to accept all my criminal friends and stuff on my timeline. No, I said, no, Coco's not there. I don't remember what it was. I just remember I was pissed off. Day to day, there's so much to do with censorship and all of this stuff. You can't hardly remember what you got to do day to day. Where's my house? Right here. Yeah, I accept him. You're like, George's trying to hide. He didn't want to put on his timeline. We got funny stuff about him. Yeah, first of all, you're not supposed to talk about people. You don't get no stickers talking about people, number one. What is this? Mike, I always approve Mike. Mike is always, oh Lord have mercy. Yeah, this is a problem. This is it. I was talking about this is me dancing to my favorite Prince music. I don't even know what that is. I think Cuckoo. Oh, that's what Cuckoo did it too. And it was something like sex with Gerard, something stupid, or mating from Gerard, something dumb like that. I don't even know what it was. That's just like, I took sex education. I promise you, that is not where babies come from. Don't nobody know. You don't get nothing from that. Look right here. Look, this is it right here. What is this? Gerard's mating dance. That's not a mating dance, Courtney. Everybody knows that's not that. You ain't getting none. You got all the muscles you want. You do that right there. The only reason those people dance, look at those people. Look at them. They're not from here. They're from China. Look at them. Because everybody's from China in America. It's funny. I've dated a few Asian women in my past. It's just like everybody's, oh, your girlfriend China. No, she's not. Yeah, she Korean. Oh, she China. No, she Filipino. Oh, no, she from Japan. You race. Anyway. Oh, Lord. Now, see, I'm done with this. No, I don't know if I'm going to put that on my timeline. That looks like pornography to me. Stop that. Stop this. Remove. All right, done. All right. Come on, everybody. Hey, Deborah, what's going on? My post this morning. The rump is heading out. Oh, he's right heading out. They ain't got him out, huh? Didn't one side to say he ain't going nowhere. The other side, he's gonna stay. We gotta fight. We need 20,000 people and tanks and guns and bombs and nuclear weapons because he's gonna hold the White House and we gotta stop the white supremacists. And what did you say, Deborah? He flew. He just got on there and was like, all right, I'm done. He got on helicopter and left. It's good. It's good. I had a question about that, Deborah. Y'all remember the Trump balloon? Y'all remember that? I have a conspiracy theory on the Trump, the one where he's a big baby floating in the air somewhere in Europe. I think it was in Europe. I believe he paid for that himself. That's number one. Number two, somebody somewhere right now needs to be working on a balloon with a man inappropriately sniffing children. You better do it. Don't do it now. Better go to somebody write this. Oh, damn it. That's a good idea. And invoice that joker. I need to see a big man and he floating, got loads, just in random child in front, sniffing. I told you, to me, it's all funny. I make fun of all your slave masters. I think it's hilarious. But the balloon has to have a speaker on it. I want to hear like you sniffing. I get a good whiff of the child. Does anybody believe that right now that we have a president of the United States Incorporated that does not know how to stop sniffing children and he fights with black people named Corn Pop? Oh yeah, and the other one was what he's supposed to help black people with the because we got to play records for our children. So in order, it's hilarious to me. It's funny. I don't know why. It's crazy. Like, so y'all get rid of the suspected racist guy that's been dancing with black people since the beginning of time, and you're gonna put the guy in that says that black people need to play albums for their children, or their children don't grow up right. Like, okay, do you know what racism is? Hey, yeah, you know. I don't. All right. I just want to see the balloon. That's all. Trump balloon was a publicity stunt. That's what I think, David. That's what I think he paid for it. Trump knows you got to give him credit for some things. He knows, David. He knows there's no such thing as bad press. He won the White House on bad press. that's why I kind of think it was all staged, David. I think all of this, they planned this stuff all ahead of time. They're getting ready. Like they're just writing skits out. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put black president. He'll say white supremacy. That'll piss everybody off and get people to start thinking and talking about race again. And don't nobody really care about it anymore because they're all having babies and children sticking dinglings and this and that and eggplants and making babies look like everything is beautiful. But people, they got to get them worried about race again. So we got to put a black president, get him to say white supremacy on TV. Then put a white president, and then he's got to go along with he's racist somehow. Somehow say weird things, and we can't get anybody from the Republican side to do it. So we can get somebody from the Democrat side to do it. Maybe Donald Trump. He's good. Listen, he was in a movie. What's the name of that television show? He did a reality show called You're Fired or something like that. He's a pretty good actor. He could do that. And this is how I think the world works, y'all. I think they plan this stuff out decades and centuries ahead of time. Yeah, he'll go along with it. You know, he won't say, well, I don't know. That's difficult, Dave, because I tripped on myself, right? Because he denounced white supremacy, white privilege, white guilt, fragility, all of the white stuff y'all came on. He denounced all of that stuff. I know because I have Trump voting friends, and they played a video on YouTube. They did a collage of the multiple times he said it. And then I watched the left, and they're like, he didn't say it. I'm like, yeah, he did. Y'all didn't see that? So, but no, I think they planned it out ahead of time. They planned it out ahead of time. Bad press is always good press. As long as you're talking about them, it's good to go. You know, because that's another sticker. Anyway, not sure whether or not to be saddened or amused by by those who believe in either. Yeah, neither one, Deborah. Neither one. Just believe, you know what? Go along with it. They lose in the end. If you heard Max Egan this one, they lose in the end. I'm not even worried about it. Not the people, but the slave plantation gonna lose in the end. Just count it all joy. So just go with it, count it all joy. Love the music and singing, yes, but not for the love of money. Love of stickers. That's why we hearing Crazy Car. Good morning. Who's that? Brother Robert Walker, Mark Johnson. Oh, those Nick Stinson posts this morning. Nick Stinson had a great post on war on terrorism. It's gone. They solved terrorism. There's no more terrorism. It's gone. The cuckoo virus healed it. It's gone. You have anybody think that's weird? Last 4 years, a couple things got solved. There was no school shooting. That got solved. That got solved with, I guess, Trump. No, racism solved that, right? So white supremacists solved the shootings in schools. That didn't happen for like 4 years. And then the cuckoo virus, that solved terrorism. Wasn't no terrorists around the nation for the world doing nothing for damn near a whole year. A whole lot of stuff got solved last year. Does anybody find that a little suspicious? A little bit, just a tad. Right? Because you got to make an enemy. You got to have an enemy. Doesn't matter who it is. And if it ain't one, you're going to make one. So they made the enemy called terrorists. Oh, Lord, my shirt. Look at this. You can see the fake world. Look at this. Look, see? This is how you know I'm on a green screen. And how you know that your world is fake. Because everybody wants stickers and they lie to you all the time. You see an abrupt stop in these things that are systemic. So racist-demic, heal terrorism. I'm hoping racist-demic comes to an end, but we'll see. It's very profitable. But no, Nick did. Oh, Lord have mercy. And it's snowing too. So there you go. There you go. Yay. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's my, oh, good. I'm on the plantation. Damn it. I got to watch the news more. Oh, Lord, that's a lot of snow too. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Anyway, that's why I told you I don't watch the news. I don't know what the hell is going on. We could be in the middle of a civil war right now, and I wouldn't know. And I don't really care because I'm not fighting on anybody's side. I don't care about your slave plantation. I ain't fighting for none of your mad. We got to go get the white supremacists. Why? If I was white, I'd be fighting with them. But if I didn't figure it out and I'd be black, I'll be on the other side. But why would I fight for Caesar? I was asking that somebody yet. Good Lord, that's a lot of snow. I was asking somebody that just yesterday. Like, why do you want me to fight for Caesar? I'm supposed to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and unto God what is God's of the universe or Planck energy, whoever you want to call it. Why in the world would I fight for the Caesar? Gerard Focus, stop looking at the snow. I know. I talk to myself all the time. It's what America does to you. That's a lot. It's blowing too. What the hell? Yeah, why would I fight for Caesar? I ain't never gonna fight for Caesar. I'll always be on the side of poor people. And that's why I lost a bunch of friends yesterday. You know, why you always stand up for poor white people? Because they po and they white. No, because they po and you call them white. That's why. Why are you standing for poor black people? Because they po and you call them black. That's why. I am the antithesis to a degree. Try to be as slow as best as I can. All right, you're too young to remember those guys. PBS. who to remember who? What? Owned by the Koch brothers. Yeah, I'm too young to remember the Koch brothers movie. I partially agree. I'm 29. I learned that from women. I'm 29. I'll be 29 forever. But the Koch brothers, they were getting down with the Democrat Party a long time ago. So when Donald Trump left the Democrat Party, they went with them. Why? Because when you leave for the new scam, you got to take your money with you. That's what he did. You know, Caesar and Christ are concepts. Yes, they are, Todd. They're complete concepts, except for where the Christ thing came from. Oh, good Lord, look at my shirt. This is jacking up. The Christ consciousness is a thing. That's a thing. I was even is that an alien top? Is that a UFO thing? What was I looking at this morning? I was looking at Arabic myths. And there was a great Arabic historian talking about this flying mountain. They were like the birds from Arabia. Y'all remember it's not like, because in America, they were called thunderbirds. But in Arabia, the massive birds, they pick up elephants and fly away. But when this historian like Alexander the Great told you a bunch of stuff, and Magellan said a bunch of stuff that people don't like to talk about because they like to pretend that historians didn't come back and tell you what they really saw back then. But there was a historian, I have to post his name. He actually called it a flying mountain. He said from a distance, they were looking out over sea. He and his explorers, they were like, there's a flying mountain over. And eventually they said it was a great bird. I forgot what they called it in Arabia. But to me, I think that's just the sky gods. I think there's sky gods everywhere. I think we live in an ecosystem, Todd. It's one big ecosystem. We try to pretend that, the aliens are real. They're not real. I don't think there are any aliens. We just live in a massive ecosystem, and we're ignorant to what's on the other side of that water, what's on the other side of that mountain, what tribe is on the other side of that continent, and what tribe is on the other planet over there. All right, just another day, no chance. Lots of good Lord, this is really jacking up, isn't it? This is looking fake to me. All right, I might have to change my color. This is jacking up my thing. But this is what happens. It's snowing, the sun went away, so it's playing with the green screen. Ooh, there's an analogy there. People eating sugar, poison, they're being poisoned by the government, EMF and all that other stuff. Their immune systems aren't working. The common cold makes a jump in gain in function, targeting white blood cells, and people with problems with white blood cells now start getting sick and dying. And you start to see, oh, damn it, that's a green screen. Maybe we shouldn't eat poison. Maybe grandma ain't gonna make it because grandma ain't eating what she taught us that we supposed to eat. Green screen. Right, but for the love of stickers, for the love of stickers, as long as you get a house, a job, some money, retirement, some vacations here and there, you'll be a happy slave and you'll be okay and support the plantation. Good morning, Joanna. How you doing this morning? Born of sin, I don't care. All right, war is racism. War is racism. Oh, Verna. Oh, good Lord. See, once again, another person who likes to read things. War is. Why? Because you look at that other nation and you're like, oh. Well, first of all, your king looks at that nation like, oh, they got some lithium. Yeah, I need to seal that. I need to tell the people something stupid to get them go along with my nationalism. And so he comes back with racism. It's like, oh, China, you know what the China's doing? The China's doing this. And the other side like, oh, you know what the Russia's doing? The Russians doing this. And it's all just isms. And you go blow them up and steer the reef. Venezuela's the next and Bolivia is the next on that list. It's all racism. And they pretend at home like, we're fighting racism, but you believe in colonization, killing people for their ethnicity because they live in a certain location and stealing their resources, then their land and give them a puppet government. It's all ism. It's all ism, Vern. That's why I don't fight racism. I ain't got no problem with no racism. I don't have a problem with baldism. Like, that's not a thing. I don't have a problem with fetism or I-ism. Like, hey, if that's what you want to do, go do that, That it's the system that gives you the hate, right? It's not like they're born of it. I have no interest in any of the isms fight. Their burn is all a waste of time. Everybody fighting an ism is building up to ism. Why? Because you got leaders above you who are convinced you that they're fighting isms, but they need to retire. And the only way they retire with more stickers than you is to get you to go out there and fight something they pretend they're against, but they need to retire well with more stickers than you. That's how what is it? The difference between the house slave and the slave. That's how that slave line works. Hey, Sister Candy Car. And that's what I love this sticker idea. I love the sticker analogy because it's just so damn ridiculous. Where is it? I had to picture a little kid here earlier. I love it. It's so ridiculous. It just makes me feel like I was so stupid when I believed all of this. Where is this little kid at? because when she said it, I was like, stickers, like, you know, because nobody wants to be childish. Like, no, I'm an adult, damn it. Look at me. Damn it, damn near 6 feet tall, bald head, brown. No, I can get up in the morning, go do what I need to do. And it just turns out the whole world is based in stickers. Reading progress. Y'all see this right here? This reminds me of school. Like, oh, well, how did Gerard do today? Well, he went to school and he got a degree and he did what we told him to. He got all his vaccinations. He loves his government. He did what the Caesar said. He cleaned up the room. He took names as the teacher told him to and turned people in for contact tracing. And so we give him stickers and we run home like, Mommy, David, I want some cake. I got stickers, Mommy. And then we never change. It makes me feel so damn ridiculous. Going to school, getting a job, working in corporate America. Oh, I'm successful. Damn it. Look at my bank account, my 401k. I'm building things up. It's like, I'm an adult. I'm not a child. My kids run home. Daddy, we got stickers. Like, I'm the same as them. Oh, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. But I tell you what, there's some smart people. They're smarter than us. They didn't figure. I think they're dumb as hell, but they're generationally. They came from some very enlightened people who got us all to embrace slavery. And so if you got more stickers, you don't want to give it up. Like if you're reading progress, if you're Kristen, is it Kristen? Who's at the top? Hang on. Rachel. Rachel, she got more stickers. See, like, look at all her stickers, right? She is on top of Christine. See, Christine, oh, look, Lord, that's Christine. Poor little Christine. You know, Belgium, they grade a little harder in Belgium. So Christine only got 2 stickers right there. So Rachel, she doesn't want to give up slavery. She's happy with slave plantation. Why? Because she got more stickers. She likes a house, that's a car, it's a BMW, retirement. She got all of this stuff. See, what happened because Christine only got 2. Christine, see, somebody gonna tell Christine she need to fight Rachel. You know why? Because Christine only got 2 stickers, but she got to find a reason to get Christine to fight Rachel. See, Rachel ain't the problem, right? Rachel listen to mama, and Rachel just doing what Caesar and the masters told her. So Christine has got to pick on Rachel because of her skin color or her hair or how she walks or because she's a cheerleader. She's got to find a reason. Why? Because the teacher does not want Christine to figure out this is a system. All right, this is a system. It's a sticker system. And the teacher got a sticker printer back at the principal's office that the principal just print stickers and they just bring that money. And do you see how that works out? That's why I love the analogy. It's perfect. We just some children. We're just children with cars. I love it. It makes me feel like, damn it, I get it now. The red pill and the blue pill. And that's why there's no blue pill. It's a red pill and stickers. You either taking a red pill like, damn it, all right, I'm getting out of the system. I'm giving up my stickers. I realize that as Rachel, because I mean, privilege is a real thing. Right? I tell people all that time, I got privilege. That's why I stand up for poor white people, poor black people, poor Asian people, poor Mexican people. I stand up for anybody. I ain't got that privilege. I got privilege. In this scenario, I'm Rachel. I had a good mommy. I had a good dad. He came from a good home. We had food, shoes, clothes, and all of that stuff. So it's my job to stand up for Christine because Christine ain't supposed to know how this works. I know how it works because I'm the teacher's pet. I can look behind the desk and realize, damn it, yeah, it's a sticker printer back there. Obviously, there's a roll of stickers. So she must be going to the principal, the Rothschilds, to get the stickers to come back. Oh, damn it. That's why Christine ain't got nothing. And so as Rachel, I look out for Christine. You get that? You understand what I'm saying? Because otherwise, Christine gonna find me at 3 o'clock after school. Y'all get that? Y'all see how they playing us like children? We could do a whole video on stickers, y'all. We could do a whole video on how immature we are, how played we are, all sides. All right, is social credit score going to replace a sticker? That's a sticker. Hell yeah, David. That's what. Damn it. This is the problem with David, y'all. David, y'all need to friend him because they're going to delete your page, brother. Because that's what the social credit score is, right? You get more stickers, you get more points. Stickers and points. If anybody didn't watch the Black Mirror episode yet of the social credit score, you need to watch that. And that's why we're going to be China Day, because they need to make us China. We've always had a digital social credit score. We've always graded each other like the teacher grades us, because you get more stickers. If you don't have enough stickers, you can't engage in society, right? Like Christine, she only got 2. She probably can't go outside for recess. She probably got detention. She doesn't get, Rachel to get an extra cookie. Rachel get extra milk. You see how that works out? But that's why for those of us with certain privileges, we got to stand up for everybody else. Otherwise, once they get digital, when the teacher ain't got to put stickers on that board, the teacher can just press a button. We ain't gonna need no teacher. You see how that works out? See, one of the teachers in the classroom can wake the hell up. You're like, yo, like Jonathan and one of our professor friends. I'm like, whoa, the system is a lie. It's all bullshit. I had a teacher who did that. I had a professor who did that. His name was Dr. Carter. Damn it. I wasn't supposed to say that. I said it anyway. Anyway, he woke me up. He was my African-American studies professor when I went to a traditionally Black college, which y'all like, they're just teaching racism. No, not really. It's a whole lot of woke people. He's like, no, he's just like, yeah, all they do is play people against each other. They've been doing it since the beginning of time, way back to Egypt. He told us the truth. He contracted for the government, told us the truth about recording cell phones or recording all the phone calls in America since the 1960s. And that's how they know that the civil rights leaders helped kill Martin Luther King, which, by the way, I guess it was his birthday, something the other day. I missed that. I get that and I listen to the speeches, but I stopped because usually the people who talk about Martin Luther King, they don't even know who he is. They've never heard his speech before, or they forgot his speech. And they're all doing everything they can to fight the dream, which is why I don't go there. But yeah, the civil rights leader helped kill him. I posted the video yesterday, on yesterday's video, the pastor who slipped up and told you he helped. He's like, yeah, I got to get the hell out the way so they could shoot Kang. He said that. And Dick Gregory told you. And Dick Gregory's another one. He was another one. But I mean, he also kind of got lost in it too. But, you know, there are a lot of woke people in woke places. But wherever you're woke, wherever you're Rachel, you need to take that privilege and help Christine. But Christine, you cannot demand that privilege from Rachel. Rachel has to do that out of the kindness of her heart, right? I can do this out of the kindness of my heart because I have two parents. And most of the friends I know, they had one parent. One was drinking, the other might have been doing some drugs. They went through some abuse or whatever. And I don't care what their skin color is. I'm supposed to take the fact that I had two parents and a good upbringing to use anything I can, my patience, my empathy, whatever I can to help Christine out. All right. And not be okay fighting Christine because I think I'm better because I got more stickers. Y'all see how that works out? But if Christine tries to force me, I'm like, oh, hell no, Ray. No, Christine, you're just going to go to detention by your damn self. Don't try to force me. If you ask me, good things will happen. If you don't ask me, good things will happen. You try to force me, now I'm going the other way. So what's new? Christine wins. Ash, there's another Christine. Nothing is new. Everything's saying we're still going to hell. Hell is getting hotter. That's it. The temperature's going up. Only thing that's different because we have decided we don't want to, I don't know, open up the floodgates of heaven and do nice things for people and let the water come in and cool off the lava that's flowing everywhere. Bill Gates fired his cook. Did he? Well, hopefully his cook gave him a little something extra special. Extra special in his food. And maybe that's why. Everybody ready for a steel cage match today. Is what's happening today. Is that going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen, Jonathan. They said he already got on his helicopter and he's gone. Frog analogy on high now. It is, Melissa. It is, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing right now. So now it's obvious that it's getting hot here. This frog might get the hell out. I'm seeing a lot of people on both sides realizing this is not what they said this is supposed to be. People out there, Melissa, they're getting their Moderna. They're becoming Modernites, changing their DNA. Like, y'all, I don't think y'all should do this. And the others are becoming Pfizerians. and then you got the organic humans where their DNA is not being modified. But so they're doing that and they're not letting them off a lockdown. They're not letting them out. So it's like, it should be obvious that they're lying to you. So I see some frogs like, wait a minute, what the hell did I just do? You know? And it's important to say it that way because nobody knows what's going to happen. The only thing I had a question, Melissa, you got the vaccine, Pacination Injury Fund that protects the company so that you can't sue them. But it's a vaccine. It's a vaccine injury fund. It is not a experimental injury fund. And so I had this question yesterday for some of my legal friends. Does that mean people, Modernites and Pfizerians, can sue? Because if you destroy their evolutionary DNA and it's going in a synthetic direction, and the people that are not making it, that only people who were like looking on the Parler, different type of websites that are telling you what's really happening and not the censored media, can they sue the companies? There might be a legal loophole there because the injury fund thing, that was only, to my understanding, for true Mackines. These are not true Mackines. These are experiments, which is why a lot of my friends who are pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine are all together on this because they're like, that's not a vaccine. That's an experiment. That is an experimentation. That nobody knows what the hell that is. So maybe they can sue. I don't know. Maybe they can sue. Somebody should go back and read, who was it? Reagan and Fauci. They got together and wrote that law. Read that law and see. That might be a great way to put a lot of these businesses out of business, making a new race of human. Oh, we get so much trouble. We got to learn how to love. We got to find love between the humans, the Modernians, and the Pfizerians. Otherwise, they're going to get us in a war in the future. Same way they get the races now. We're going to get more stickers to the Modernians, the Modernians. And then they want to fight with the Pfizerians. That's how I'm an organic human, yo. I don't think there's any way to cheat nature. I'm just going to tell you how it is. I think nature did not make any cheat codes. I think nature was made. Nature said there ain't going to be no cheat codes. You will eat human food. You'll have human health. If you're not going to eat human food, you're going to die. I think that's it. But people don't like accountability. They like to blame other people. The reason I'm sick is because you won't wear your face diaper. It's like, no, it's because you eat Cinnabons for breakfast every morning. You're going to die. That's how nature works. I grew up eating horrible food. We grew up eating Fruit Loops and Frosted Flakes and Fruity Pebbles. And to this day, nobody knows what the hell that is. It's sugar and colorful things and little crispy, crunchy things that you put in cow blood and pus and it's colored white. And we used to eat that stuff, but we didn't die. And half the time, I think that's just because we used to swim in swamps. We used to swim in swamps and play with the turtles. I had turtles, snakes, lizards. We had gerbils and hamsters and stuff. I played my big brother's hamsters and gerbils. Like, yeah. And I go downstairs, time for break, time for lunch. And I run downstairs to eat. Mama asked me, did you wash your hands? Oh, I wash my hands. No, I ain't. My hand ain't come nowhere near no water nor soap. Got all kind of hamster poop and turtle goo and bacterias and everything. And like, mama, get them graham crackers, eat them. And nobody still know what the hell a graham cracker is. It's sugar and crispy things and chemicals or whatever. I don't know, some wheat, Franken-wheat or something. We eat that thing, and I'd get all my hamster doo-doo and hamster pee, because them hamsters just walk around that cage, and my brother ain't never cleaned that damn cage. And so we got immune systems. The immune system is like a muscle, right? If you don't use it, you will lose it. All right? You need to walk closer behind people that you smell BO and get further from people who wear all that makeup and perfumes and colognes, and they're trying to be all sterile. Those people are gonna die, and they're gonna take you with them. Walking down the street in bubble costumes. No, yeah, Bubble Boy does not make it in this movie. Bubble Boy and Bubble Girl die together. They do not have babies. They can go have sex ed all they want. They try to protect themselves. They got plastic, yo. They have plastic condoms. They have plastic condom sheets, full body. It's oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Like I never would have thought we'd be here. You got people having sex with body condoms. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I never would have thought it. I took sex ed in the 4th grade. I was like any other little boy. I paid attention. I did not know I was not sleeping in no sex. Hell no. We had math, science, English, and all them other stupid subjects. And now we got a subject to talk about this ding-a-ling thing that make you happy, want to get up in the morning, do crazy things when your mama not looking. Hell no, I'm paying attention. This is an important class. And that class ain't never talking about taking no sheets of plastic. So you don't get no, I don't know, hair, booby juice, skin, and nothing under. Yeah, no, this is how it's supposed to work. That's somebody right now that probably left their phone on having sex with their wife and they got on a face diaper. People, my God, if you want to evolve with the ecosystem, you got to ego with the system. You got to get down and dirty with the ecosystem. You're a human being. You are the most filthiest thing on this planet, all right? The other creatures learn how to lick each other's anuses and fur to clean each other. Humans don't do that, okay? We're the most disgusting thing on this planet. Just because you clean, take showers, and don't have a scent coming off, but you dirty. We are like how many trillion cells of bacteria, fauna, fungus and farts and all kind of nasty stuff is all grown together. That's the human being with a spiritual component. With a spiritual component. Which is why we shouldn't be worried about no stickers, y'all. All right. Oh my God. All right. Whew. That was a lot. Y'all still here? Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me read some comments. What is the purpose of the show? Just to keep me from going crazy. This is the purpose of the show. Hey, let me move to read your reading chart, your sticker chart. This is your success chart. Because we're stupid. Let me move that out the way so y'all can see her crazy face. Here go the Flair right here.
I got more flair than you. I'm successful. I'm successful, and I'm going to fight Columbus, but I got all the stuff that my government steals from people all over the planet. I've got my sticker.
I know, they go that voice, Elaine. Bye, Lane. Bye, Lane's about to leave. She said, don't ever do that voice again. Don't ever do that voice. And she a thug. She lived down the street, so I don't mess with Lane too much. That woman is mafia. Y'all ever see her picture? She got that. I know a little racist probably, but she look Italian to me. I don't mess with Italian people. Once I worked for her family, and it scared the hell out of me because the FBI showed up when I was in I was in this place to give you a degree that so you could have more stickers than everybody else. And then when I was in that place to get that degree, so I can get more stickers and so I could have all my privileges and my supremacy. I used to sell meat. I used to sell meat. We sell people a whole year worth of meat, full of food and freezer. We'd sell them all the meat and a whole bunch of groceries. And when I was doing that, it was weird because they were paying us a lot of money. Buddy of mine, his wife is on my Facebook. We used to make a whole bunch of money. I was in college. I drove a sports car. I had the nice sticker, 300ZX sticker. It was a 1986. Oh, that sticker was sexy. Well, woo, did I get me some off of that? I ended up with 3 kids because of that sticker. And they're growing up. They want stickers too. So no, it was they were paying us too much money. I was making like $70,000 a year while I was in, and I didn't really tell anybody. I was like, why are they paying us so much money? But there was a lot of stickers. It was 70,000 stickers a year. So me and my man Chris, we didn't really, that's a lot of money. He went and bought a Supra. We had 2 sports cars. Everybody else in college, except the African kids. The African kids, when they came here, they had BMWs because they came. Their families were like diplomats and stuff. They got here on that college education sticker program thing where they go back to their own country, make their own stickers. Because that's what the Rothschilds and Rockefellers want them to do. They need the whole world to come up so they can play each other against each other, but we're not going to go in there. And we think like this is a lot of stickers to be paying us. All right, but listen, we had Kenwood speakers and Pioneers. I'd get a new stereo, he'd get a better stereo, I'd get more wattage and bigger speaker stickers, and then he would do that. And we just were trying to keep up with each other. We keep up with the Joneses. And we always had to keep up with the Chris's. And then one day I don't know what happened. It was women. I think it was women. That was everything is woman's fault. I'm gonna tell you. Women will make men change their religion and leave jobs. And I think it had something to do with her. It was something to do with my ex-wife, my kid's mom. She probably said something, look, you need to leave that job. You ain't supposed to be making that much stickers. She's from New York. So they everything up there is a sticker scam. And so something to the effect of, we need to go ahead and leave this sticker place. We left that sticker place, called The Job. And then we ran into someone we used to work with, and the FBI swooped in, worked for one of Elaine's cousins' families, mama something, a mafia program thing to embezzle stickers and do embezzlement, stickering and protection money and all of that stuff. And they were laundering sticker money the same way the U.S. Incorporated does. It always gets back to stickers. Always gets back to stickers. Anyway, stickers and women, because that's the only reason we want stickers. Men don't care nothing about stickers. Stickers aren't organic, people. We are now taking it back. Oh, we gave away generations of power. We're now taking. I think so, Joanna. I think so. I think the first step, knowing, is half the battle. G.I. Joe. And I think now we realize we should not be giving our energy to a slave plantation. Good morning, Trisha. How you doing this morning? Deanna Lou, by the power of flair. Good morning, dirt. Yeah, by the power of flair. That's what's wrong with the world. Is everybody's trying to get flair, and they don't give enough flair for everybody. They don't plenty enough stickers and buttons to give everybody on the planet enough. And that scarcity, artificial scarcity sticker and button societies, that's how you keep the slave plantation running, and you keep Christine and Rachel fighting each other. That's exactly how that works. Yes, it's flair, Brother David. Absolutely. I love it. It's just so ridiculous. Oh, there goes Susan right there. She's the one who made it. Little sharp tongue and witch in a nice way. Y'all understand when I say witch, like, oh, that's a horrible thing. No, witches were good people. Witches used to heal you with herbalists and stuff, herbs and roots and stuff. And people thought it was magical. Like, oh my God, you must be a witch. You know how to heal me. And it wasn't the pastor with the magical wand and hit me in the head with the Bible, some holy juice or something. We need to stake them up. And we would stake up the witches, which is a good thing. You get your sticker, you get a sticker, everybody gets a sticker. Well, not everybody, Susan, because it's a sticker pyramid, right? And it's her analogy. I'm correcting her on her now. It's a sticker Ponzi pyramid. Everybody can't have stickers. You have to have a whole bunch of people who either got the ghetto stickers, the low budget trailer park stickers, the burial stickers, the stickers that, they fade, and, the little sticky carcinogen on the back end really working that well. You put it on your shirt and it falls off and then you cry. Everybody don't get the good stickers. You got to save the best stickers for the slaves close to the plantation at the top of the Ponzi pyramid scheme, right? And so that's why you got to have what's called a government to make sure that there is no class mobility at all, ever. And you get two sides to pretend that we're here for class mobility, move up. But they want more stickers too. And so you lobby them to make sure that we don't give you a whole bunch of stickers. You act like you want to help them out. Then they act like they want. That's what I'm saying. They're all actors. They're all actors and they're all paid by stickers. Everybody, we need to bring it in the sticker world. All right. What's that? Oh, and it stops. This is weird. It stopped snowing and the sun came out. Weird things are happening. It's getting cold in here now. How more they talk about virtue, how less they are. I think so, Christine. How's that saying go? Thine protesteth too much. If you protest too much, if you say it too much, it's probably the exact opposite. Usually the people who's calling somebody racist, that's the people you want to look out for. That's just me. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. I had to be street smart. As the minute somebody showed up to me like, hey, brother, let's get together, go fight some racism. Like, yeah, that's not what's happening. You up to something. You sneak bastard. All right. We will be required to show people the most unimaginable horrors of greed reality, to wake them up from the haze of self-despair into the righteousness work of selfless man. Yeah, yes. All of that, Jimmy. With a bowl of grits and selfless man. Off grid. You need to be selfless. Give up your stickers. You get that analogy? Give up your stickers. All you got is the red pill and it's no blue pill. It's just a sticker. Because by default, you live in a world where it's a Ponzi stickered pyramid scheme. Neo didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to take the blue pill. All he had to do was just walk out. By default, the whole sticker society works. And so becoming selfless men, like, that's okay. I don't want your sticker. I'm good. And if people do that, Jimmy, that's the end of it. People walk away. They stop believing in the sticker system. Lego to logo. There should be no logos. I don't think corporations should exist anymore. But, I think the left agrees with me on that, Deanna Lou. We got to bring in communism to save everybody. And the only way that we're going to become China is you can't have small. The middle class can't have businesses. You got to destroy every damn business to get people happy with the stickers that Jonathan got in the mail yesterday in the card form, right? The stimulus sticker. It's the only way you make communism. Why? Because people need it. And it's not real communism. The corporation still owns us, right? So it's not going to be anything fun or interesting, but you got to get rid of empowered people. So you got to destroy as many small businesses as you can. But they say 85% of restaurants out of business, small businesses, not the big ones, just the little ones. So 2020 to me was definitely a year to destroy small businesses because of corporations. But that's what the neocons and neoliberals have always been in bed, playing with each other's foots, man, and pretending like they're not. All right. Oh, don't be sad. Who's that sad? Don't be sad. Mandarin is a good language. Who is that? Hit that sad face again. Let me see who you are. I put you on blast. Mandarin is a sexy language. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma, everybody. Means I love you. All right. Take my... It doesn't mean that. But it's an enduring way to greet. And I think that'll be funny in the future. When people, Americans see that, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Ni hao ma. I think we should have martial arts. I think we should get rid of wrestling, football, soccer. We should just have all martial arts, but specifically Chinese martial arts. That's where we're going. Social credit score. This is what y'all want. So this is what we're going to do. We like stickers. My business is gone. Yes, it is, Becca. Your business is gone. And that's a damn shame. Because Becca, you were literally given a promise when you were born here that you would be free and you would be allowed to pursue your happiness in the way you choose if it's peacefully. Bill of Rights, Constitution, and they just peed all over that joke. They just, The greatest thing since Port Rice was the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. The idea that we're walking back from having centralized power and giving sovereign power to human beings. It's not true sovereign power because you're within a government, and the government never has to respect a sheet of paper. It's never happened since the beginning of time. They used to have these sheets of paper like, oh, you can't do this because you got a sheet of paper, king. And the king is standing there with the Lord like 8,000 soldiers. You can't do this to us. That king will stick you and rape you and throw you off the cliff. All right. So it was the right thing. It was heading in the right direction. But once again, racism is an industry. And it was bigger than this. It's one of the biggest industry now. It's a tool. They said, oh, no, the Constitution is racist. And they got everybody said, like, yeah, the Constitution, oh, it's made by racist people. It's racist. Oh, it's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Let's have a single master to run everything. Yeah, that makes more sense. So anyway, the UK, I'm UK, but it stands. Same thing, Becca, same thing. Well, we're just different cousins. We just on the other side of the pond. We still the same corrupt dirt. We still work for the city of London. The city of London still owns the United States Incorporated. It's like Washington, D.C. over here, Becca. It's like people like, yeah, it's Washington, D.C. It's another state. Like, no, actually, it's not. Washington, D.C. is a part of Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. No, actually, it's not. What is Washington? Washington, D.C. is its own country. Washington, D.C. is its own country. And that was where the scam of the Act of 1871 came from. They literally bought the land, made their own country, and create their own legal system out of a corporation that we pretend is a government. We are slaves to Washington, D.C. That's why Washington, D.C. doesn't have to. That's why all the criminals just coalesce there. Why do you think they got 20,000 people for the transition? Because I think people are starting to realize that that's not a government. That's a corporation. And a corporation only cares about profit. It loves racism. It loves religionism, genderism, whatever. And it'll convince you it's fighting it all. They're fighting racism. And they're going to grow that joker. Because the only way they get more power is they got to grow it. They got to grow it. All right. Y'all gonna do Max Egan? I feel I'm getting tired to hear myself talk. I should bring somebody on. Y'all do a panel this morning. Precisely why the Constitution is bullshit. It is, Zach. It is. It was a step in the right direction. It was a step away from feudalism. But the bankers and robber barons and railroad tycoons, all of those people, they saw that coming. Like, yeah, we're not going to walk away from we're not going to walk away from centralizing the world. We've been working hard to colonize this world. No, we're going to walk this back. And so you got people that hate the Constitution. And so you got these weird teams where it's like, yes, the Constitution, that's what we should keep for 1,000 years. And the other people are like, we hate the Constitution, that's racist. And I'm like, maybe it was a step in the right direction. And we need to evolve it back to a point where human beings are sovereign. So nobody gets to dictate who gets what right, when, where, why, who. But your rights are God-given, natural law-given, whatever you Planck energy given, however you want to work it. When I see the people working at McDonald's, they have badges and stars, and I always how many World Cups they won. Lots of laughter keeps me amused. Okay, well, Flair. Is that what you're saying? So Flair, like in the little plantations, we're on a big plantation, and the big flares like the cars and savings and investments and stocks and my success. And then in the slave, I have to think about it. I used to work at a chicken restaurant, Joanna, and I'm trying to think if they gave us any flair. We didn't have to wear buttons, but we had different color shirts. That was kind of the flair because you'd be the master if you had the shirt. I used to work at this famous Christian chicken restaurant. I won't say the name of it. And you out on your lunch break, you watch these videos, and it would teach you, morals and how to cook chicken better and faster, and how to not burn the fries and stuff like that. And then, and if you did really good, the master gave you a sticker, and you got to be the manager on the floor. And I got pretty high up I didn't get the assistant manager, slave plantation sticker haver. They would give us different color shirts. So if the big boss wasn't around, like, yeah, I'm the house Negro in charge. I get to make the decision. Yeah, McDonald's, they probably got that too. They probably all got those little different buttons. In the military, they got y'all see the military got all the ribbons. My father always had all these ribbons and stuff. Those are just stickers. You're a better slave. We love you. It's a shame. That's why I love the sticker analogy so much, because it really makes you see how ridiculous it is. And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like the more you listen, the crazier you are, the more stickers you get. Trump is gone. I had one. Okay, I guess I have to turn my white. I have to turn my white. Yeah, that's going. I think that's going to come to an end, Susan, because now they don't have a demigod. They need to make another one. So they'll find something else. I think the whole white thing is this: that they need to find something else. They got to find a group. They got to make something. It'll be KKK, ISIS, Al Qaeda, KKK, or something. They'll figure something out. They make it. Don't just don't give up on it yet. The whole race war is not. I don't think they're over just yet. Just hang on, Susan. They're making too much money. They're making too much money. Yeah, you got people, because if you can convince people to fight other people because they got that skin color, you can get them to ignore everything that you're making real money on. And that's the whole purpose, right? Because right now, like, not wearing masks is racist.
If you don't wear a mask, you're racist, because the African Americans get it more than because of the genetics and
No, that's not how cuckoo virus works. Cuckoo virus works through television. They sell you to eat sugar and crap and things that cause inflammation that will make you die of the cuckoo virus. Cuckoo virus is not racist. The advertisement might be, right? They pick certain communities to sell. Like, it's funny to me. Who said it? Susan? It was funny to me because I would go to different areas, and if I were in an area with mostly black people, the person in the McDonald's commercial would be brown. And I go to another area, and the person in the McDonald's person would be white. And I go to another area, and the person in the McDonald's commercial would be Asian. Like, wait a minute, this is highly controlled here. It's not, and if you didn't have a lot of money, if you're one from those socioeconomical areas where you can't afford steak, then you're going to eat the 99-cent burger. It just so happens that 99-cent burger causes problems with your immune system because it's full of all kind of preservatives and additives and sugar and chemicals and things, so it can sit on a truck for 10 years before it gets to your establishment where you buy your cheap food from. So no, cuckoo virus is not racist. Wearing masks is not wearing masks is not racist. This system, it preys on people and it sells them advertisement of people to trust more because people believe in race. Morgan Freeman said that. You want racism to go away? I got to stop talking about it. That's why I laugh about it. I don't stop talking. I just laugh like, oh, really? That's what you want to do? Okay, you go do that. Yeah. Tell me how that works out. Y'all been doing that for about 2,000 years now. See how that works out. It basically gave a 0.01% the entire damn planet. That's what it did. That's the benefit of being a racial pride. So you. How about this? How about you're greater than what your master said that you are? How about not having pride in race? How about you were so much more than white? You're so much more than black. You're so much more than Asian. That these were just labels that kings gave to lands of people they conquered, dominated, raped. Maybe we shouldn't keep these labels anymore. Maybe you are greater than. Maybe your kids are greater than that. Maybe they just used it as it's a collar to put shackles around your neck to convince you to go do something that the kings and lords and people want you to do. We're just living a little closer to the master's White House. All right. Last recent, what was that? Recent Dark Journal is excellent. All right. Thank you for that. Post that link, Melissa. Let me get down in the comments. I kind of want to look at Max Egan. Y'all look at Max Egan? Because I'm losing my voice. This false world makes me lose my voice every morning. I like to keep my voice. The Pope burned women in Belgium. Yep. We're not even going any further with that, Jimmy, because that's, people don't realize that. The popes were behind massive genocides in history. They don't need a military. They're buying Africa up. Well, they're buying it up, Tony, but I think they're going to get a military too, in case people in Africa realize that the way they're doing business, Tony, the way economic hitmen do, right? You give them massive loans. They can't pay them back. You make sure that you put them in debt, like the IMF and central banking, and China uses the Rothschild banks too. And once they're in massive debt, you can put your military base there. You can do anything you want. The same way America does. But in case you have a nation of Africans who stand up like, yeah, we ain't gonna do this. We've realized that y'all just here to build infrastructure, to put us in debt, to make us slaves like people in America. We're not gonna go for it. We realize that y'all killed Gaddafi. Obama killed Gaddafi for a reason, to stop us from like being able to defy slavery and colonization, from having our own non-Rothschild currencies. No, we're not gonna do that. And if that happens, Tony, then they'll just use that Pentagon that they did not have a 10-day waiting period for to go kill them. That's why Obama put AFRICOM all over Africa. I try to explain that to people, they don't get it. They're like, no, Obama loves us. Obama loves us. Obama does not lust you. Obama lusts after stickers, and he got like, they say he's gonna have 1 billion stickers from his presidency. That's why, because he killed Gaddafi. You know, it's like, no, Obama not lust you. They did that because you believe. Like, oh yeah, he's a black man. He's gonna help Africa. Yeah, okay. He put AFRICOM all over Africa, so now China can go blow up anybody they need to who wouldn't want to go along with their colonization scam. If the world doesn't, if y'all don't understand the world, just step back. Step back. Because I may not know what I'm talking about. Just do some reading. I got a whole damn book list of things that you need to read to figure out how the world works. The world works on power and money. And they print the money. All right? They print that money. So they have all the power. They can make anybody do anything they want because everybody needs stickers. Everybody needs the money, and they die without it. And then the world will make sense to you. So yeah, that's the third world better running high because now this is going big tech and digital. It's a crazy-ish world. It is, Joanna, but the world is exactly how it should be because this is what we've consented to. All right, I'm gonna skip. Let's go quickly. Yep, China did it. Yep, Christine, you always gotta blame somebody else. Never look in your own mirror. I've watched some of those. Becca watched some of those. It's good to watch things. Good to read too. Gates is buying up American Farm. I heard about that, David, which is why you need to grow your own food. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have some people come on. Hold on. We are talking Chinese already. I mean, no one makes sense. Well, it's not supposed to make sense, Joanna, unless you look at the money. If you look at the money, then it makes perfectly good sense. Love Gerard the bomb. Thank you, Melissa. I'm not the bomb, but I appreciate the love and I love you back. I cannot speak for Harris. She doesn't stand for me as a woman. She's not. They got to be careful, Melissa. You almost got me say something, get me in trouble. You got to check your speech on here. All people have to do about Harris is just look and see what community she hurt the most. That's the community that will follow her the most blindly. That's what they'll give her. Like how they were saying that they put people in places and blame and point at other people, say, you're racist. But you look at what she did as a DA, keeping people in prison, not hiding, but preventing them from using evidence, DNA things to get DNA evidence to get them out of prison. Nah, that's a big police state girl. She is a big, Joe Biden's a big police state man. She's a big police state girl. And that's how we know what's coming, Melissa. Is more national slavery. You put 2 police state-ism people in there who made their whole careers building up a massive police state. You are not going to get a warm and cuddly police after that because police aren't the problem. And that's why they say police are racist, Melissa. That's why they get everybody, the police are racist. It's like, okay, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I know a few of them. You know, we're good friends, so I don't know anything about that. But what I do know is that the laws are systemically focusing on certain communities. The laws are systematically ist. I stopped with calling them systematically racist because that gets you to attack one flavor of the problem. The laws are systematically ist. They are laws that are created by cronies in a capitalist-ish system that make sure that certain people profit off of other groups without saying the group name. A lot of laws are systemically genderist, right? A good example of that would be Washington State. This idea that that wasn't Washington State, right? That's the ones who sat there and spent millions of dollars and met and had meetings for about a year to figure out if women can show breasts in public. Meanwhile, I got men walking around breasts everywhere, hairy breasts, and got the hair, nasty stuff, bumps and dots. And some men they got breasts big enough to look like they're women. They walk around in public like, ain't no thing, construction, working on stuff, whistling at women, free. And then actually spend millions of dollars to sit there and ask them, say, we need to meet about this and write some notes and take some notes and PowerPoint spreadsheets and TPS reports and try to figure this out if women can show their chest in public. Dun, 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 dun. Is it okay? That's a systemically genderist law. Not only that, that's total discrimination. Like it's not even a question. That's my point. It's not even a question, but all the laws are systemically ist. It's all designed in keeping people fighting over each other's stuff. And I think when you go back and you look at things from a root principle perspective that we're all equal, most of these discussions you can't even be having. I mean, well, of course you'd say you want women running around with no shirts. Of course I am. Hell yeah. I'm a man. What you think? I'm crazy? Hell yeah. Like, yeah, women, let them out free. The 60s, we got to get back to that. Hell yeah. But the point is, it's optional, right? Most men don't walk around like that. Most men wear shirts. But the point is, it's not even a question of choice. But they build a system and they get us debating things that I don't even think are discussions. They're only discussions amongst fools. Police state with a prison industrial complex. Amen. And that's David. That's where we are. The problem isn't the police. The problem has never been the police. The problem has never been the person that catches slaves. The problem was never the person who went to Africa to get slaves. The problem never was the Corsair pirates who went to Ireland and Britain to get the white slave. That was never the problem. The problem is you got a king with stickers that would give them stickers when they came back. That's the problem. You don't see how that analogy works, right? What did the police do? They're racist. No, they just like stickers like you. You look the other way from your cell phone that comes from slavery from Africa and Latin America and the Middle East. You look the other way for your drugs that come from Afghanistan and the war and the opium and all of that stuff. And they look the other way when they take you to prison. They look the other way and you don't want to go. So you shoot back and they kill you. That's not called racist. They go in the house. That's just a lot of it's stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong. Cops are stupid like everybody else. We got stupid teachers. But the point is, it's all about stickers, right? They like to eat. We like to eat. Everybody's a hypocrite. This system is designed for entire hypocrisy. When you have a group conflict-based system full of this many people, it all has to be, it has to be based in hypocrisy. Every side has to be a hypocrite. Every side has to be okay with slavery, war, destruction, racism, poverty, the Ponzi pyramid sticker scheme. Everybody has to be okay with it. So everybody, all sides, they're all hypocrites. And that's why I mostly laugh all the time. Anytime I ever get close to a team, it's like, yeah, this is stupid. And I laugh at myself because it's like, yeah, damn it, I like stickers. And I don't want to like stickers. That's stupid. I'm supposed to be an adult. I'm supposed to be mature. I'm supposed to be street smart. I should definitely be able to see through it. Let's see what brings up people. I want to do a panel. We'll see who wants to come on. Who am I going to bring on? I guess whoever clicks the link first. Maybe let a few people talk for a little bit. I'm losing my voice, and I'm sick of hearing my voice anyway. Let me see. I think I used to have a group I would send out a message to, but y'all just jacked the group up. I had a live streamer group where I wanted to be able to easily send people a link so they can join and have a discussion on a live stream. And the live streamer just as retarded as everybody else. I got to fighting over this, that, and the other, and everything else. And I changed the name of the group. And I said, nah, it'll be live streamer chat. If people want to get in there, just fight. I don't have time for fighting. I don't have time for childishness, right? And that's really where I try to go every morning. How do I become a better person today than I was yesterday? That's what's interesting to me. In the meantime, while we let some people come in, let's do Max Egan real quick. I think he does a great job of summing up the world. Man, I can't believe that. Look at that. They actually they got Jim Corbett. They got Jim Corbett about on his way out. Man, that's gonna suck. YouTube is gonna suck without Jim Corbett. Annoying. Oh, I mentioned that. I was looking at Arabian Myths. Let's check out what Max Egan has to say about today real quick. And then we'll see who wants to come on and join in on the discussion. Okay. Where's that? Where's that? Oh, I didn't share. I gotta remove that. I gotta share this. Now stop that and share this. Otherwise, y'all not going. I hear Max in my head, but y'all don't hear Max. Oh, you hear voices in your head, everybody?
Saying things which you do not want them to say, which may reveal your own.
It's mostly about, it's called Wake Up. It was about censorship initially. Let's give it a minute.
Submitting to censorship is to enter the seductive world of the giver. The world where there are no bad words and no bad deeds. But it is also the world where choice has been taken away and reality distorted. And that is the most dangerous world of all.
Access denied.
Censorship is the first act of a criminal government desperate to cover its ill doings from the people that it is controlling. There's no reason for censorship other than to prevent people seeing things which you do not want them to see, which may reveal your own activities. Censorship is a very good indication of the level of corruption your government has degraded to. When censorship is introduced, it is a very good indication that your government has now reached a point where it is completely out of control, and the politicians have backed themselves into a corner so far with their criminal actions that they now need to introduce what is essentially thought crime, which is what censorship is. And of course, the governments always do this in order to cover up their own activities. Censorship is introduced not to cover up that which is dangerous or harmful. It's introduced in order to prevent people from ever asking questions that need to be asked. And governments introduce censorship because they do not want their actions questioned. That's just the way it is. And, when the government deems itself to be worthy of dictating what people can or cannot look at, what people can or cannot say, what people can or cannot think, then you have really reached the end of any type of real society at all. In such a situation, there can be no expression of real humanity, there can be no development of genius, no development of new ideas, no thinking outside the box at all. The introduction of censorship is essentially the introduction of thought crime. It is people dictating what you can think, what you can look at,
When you find the perfect engagement ring at Hellsberg Diamonds, you feel like a champion, and Patrick Mahomes gives you a personal shout-out.
Stop it.
what you can't look at, what is deemed safe for you, what is deemed unsafe for you. Censorship is someone telling you what you can or cannot think, and it is someone else making that decision for you. The introduction of censorship in any society spells a very dangerous time for that society, because history has shown us that first comes the censorship, then comes the disappearances, then comes the imprisonment. Censorship is not acceptable in any progressive society. It's not beneficial to a progressive society. It's not beneficial for human development. It doesn't help anybody except those in power who have a lot to hide. And more people need to speak out about this, because approving of censorship of anyone, approving of the silencing of any voice, is approving of the censorship of yourself. That's the way it works. If you're willing to silence one voice, then you're okay with your own voice being silenced.
Is that true? What's going on, Beaufort? Is that true? If I'm okay with them censoring other monkeys, that I'm a monkey that deserves to be censored too?
Well, I think it's true in principle, but I think we get wrapped around the axle sometimes when we see it happening. Like, for example, personally, I don't consider what Facebook is doing most of the time censoring, because we choose to come on here. We participate on it. We know it's happening, but yet we still come on here. First and foremost, I mean, yes, you can still consider it censoring, but that doesn't preclude us from taking responsibility as as more of an innate systemic issue. I mean, to solve the issue, and I always make this comment. It's like if Parler really cared about censorship, they would have never hosted their servers with Amazon. If you're merely a consumer on the supply chain, you're already disarmed.
Right. You're building your house on sand.
Right.
Actually, I was thinking about a good debate for that position, though. Because, and I agree with that, right? Like, it's a private company. It's their networks. It's their platforms. And they dictate what they allow, they don't. I was listening to somebody this morning, and he said something to the effect of, now social media are the new town halls. And because they are the new town halls, they dictate, what businesses on Main Street that we get to talk about, right? And so if you have a business on Main Street and you're making big money and you're a part of City Hall, then you can dictate in the town square what people can and can't say. And so in the current form, as private companies, it definitely is their legal right to censor anything, and you're building your house on their foundation. So they absolutely can dictate what you can say. But the question is, going into the future, right? What do you think about the idea that social media needs to become more of free speech, broken up monopoly town square platforms where there is no silence.
So I'm going to reiterate what I just said. Your Facebooks of the world, your Twitters of the world aren't going to do it. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to go back to the bulletin board days. We're going to have to go back to ham radio days. We're going to have to go back. And this is not something that we are stakeholders in, that we control. Everyone makes the argument, well, you know, Facebook gets taxpayer subsidies. Well, then you're forgetting the fact that the government isn't ours. They are the public agent of those companies. You're seeing that in action. Until we demonstratively get back on a daily basis back to the real economy, divorced from the currency-based fiat system that they control, turn field goals into touchdowns at halftime, turn first downs into third downs, you know, midway through the game whenever they see fit, because that's exactly what's kind of happening. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can't. It's the same thing as waiting for leaders to do it for us.
Mm.
And in fact, I think that's kind of the intention. Every time they kind of get us into that role at some way, it's kind of like the Patriots that were, you know, at the National Mall last week, thinking they were saving our democracy and our country when in fact they were fighting for our oppression.
Yeah.
Much less the fact that they were only fighting for their ability to dictate to their truth to you against another team and fractured teams that are already in place to dictate their truth to you. That's the only thing that situation was.
Right.
And so that's the only situation these things are.
Yeah, different sides of the same problem. And they're fighting for control of a system that should not exist. And it'll never go away as long as it exists, and there are those who fight for the control of it. What's going on, Thor? What are you thinking about censorship?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off what you just talked about and say that it does look like social media on the whole would need some sort of regulation if we're going to like get rid of the monopoly they now control. But that sounds like communism to a lot of people, and they will just scream out, or socialism, or any ism they don't like. But I say it's kind of up to the FCC and regulators to actually rein in that monopoly. I don't see any other way to do it.
I agree with you in a lot of ways from a pragmatic standpoint, because, and this is, I mean, I've talked to Jonathan a little bit about this, and I'm sure, Gerard, I think with your technical background, you probably have a lot more technical expertise than you realize on this, but it almost gets down to the point where we have to create our own ISPs. Because this issue isn't just Facebook and Twitter and those platforms, it's also the internet providers themselves throttling different channels and things going on behind the scenes, because they're operating on a more umbrella, ambiguous state. We don't kind of correlate their control as directly as we do with like Facebook banning someone for 30 days.
Right. And I agree with you. I mean, from a technical perspective, I mean, you basically have to go back to RF signals. You have to go back to analog, right? You have to take it back to a place where they have, we'll say, no control from a physical perspective, right? If you own your own radio tower, you can create your own ISP. So if you own your own radio tower, you can broadcast analog, but use a digital signal. So you basically have to build a network based off of analog signals, but then they would just translate at the digital level, because you still want to be able to have an internet. It will suck in terms of speed. It'll be slow as heck, but you know, it's a way of taking the modern world and tapping it into a more free platform. But yeah, right, that's the only way to build a foundation devoid of their control.
Were you on the internet during the 80s and the dial-up bulletin board days?
Oh yeah, I got you, brother. I'm with you when you were trying to tell Jonathan and Harsh and the rest of them from 800 baud and 400 baud to dial up the bulletin boards and like
we
all
had
that.
to
That's
wait
what
like 4 hours for a movie and stuff.
More
Like,
than that.
Not even a movie for a song.
More than,
Like,
yeah.
I was there in the earlier day. You have no idea how long it took to download a picture of somebody having sex with a dog. Because I was a young kid. I wanted to see that stupid stuff. It was just like you'd turn it on overnight and you would hope nobody picked the phone up.
Leisure
But
Suit
this one
Larry.
picture,
Leisure Suit Larry was about 25 and a quarter discs.
I'm upset. Yes, I'm upset. Nobody. I'm sorry. I wanted to join in because I wasn't there. I watched y'all's live stream later. It's like nobody knows who Leisure Suit Larry is, but you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah. It came in a box set. You had like 13 discs.
Took forever to load. My dad had an 8086 AT&T computer with a 4-color screen. Still the 5 1/4 floppy discs. But I mean,
you know how hard it is to hide from your father.
I don't know what you're doing on the internet. But I just wanted to talk about what you said there about making ourselves some old edition of the internet. I say we just rein in the internet backbone and have the regulators grow some teeth and actually tell the people you can't have a monopoly. Sorry. We have anti-monopoly laws in my country, and many other countries have done this, reined in that monster. It's the internet backbone itself that gives these people their power. So that's where you need to concentrate. Oh, sorry.
Man down.
And I think that's possible. I think that though it involves a massive people coming together.
But Paul, I think this touches upon sometimes where we butt heads, and with you sometimes. There's a lot of us that feel that you can't have a country that truly represents the will of the people because it's an oxymoron. And a lot of us are operating that because we just don't see how that would work anytime you have a centralized power. And the reason why I bring that up is because that would need basically to go get that centralized power to work in our interest and dictate those terms to those corporations. And we think that's kind of because we see it kind of already as more hand in hand, and we're like, wait a minute, that's not going to work. I mean, it needs to happen. Yes, we agree with you on that point, but then we're like, wait a minute, that's not going to happen because the mafia, it's kind of like the mafia talking to another mafia group to kind of bring law and order to a neighborhood kind of thing.
No, now we're talking about targeting specific problems online, with let's say monopolies and how they are more or less now controlling free speech as such. We should actually just make the playing field level, and that can be done in a number of ways with like certain specific targeted things. We don't have to give some board or a bunch of politicians carte blanche control of the internet. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it has to be done in some correlation, in some logical context to what we want to happen. We don't want to make it worse. So
yeah, and I agree with. I mean, I agree with your principle. I'm worried about that they already have that power. They're working towards that power, and we have to address that power structure first somehow, some way. And I think. We have a lot of debates on how to do that, and at least we don't have to agree on that, but at least we have it. In fact, I think it's good that we don't agree with it because that means people might be coming up with different approaches, and we're going to need every single one of those approaches individually to kind of operate that because we're not going to be kind of in lockstep with what the level of engagement that is going to be necessary to put this. Everyone's going to have to choose that for themselves. One of the things that was coming to mind, and one of the things why I want to come on, and it touches upon this a little bit. I was listening to NPR Sunday, and sometimes I'm not in the mood to listen to music. And it was an hour-long drive, and they were talking about conspiracy theory, and it's been a topic, a conversation. And it's funny because you listen to NPR, and they're part of the conspiracy they're part of the media, right? And they're part of the propaganda machine, and they talk about this issue and they talk about it. And one of the things, and I take like the election as an example. I think there's a lot of us that understand that DNC did a lot of foul play, but then somehow they equate that in their mind, and as an example, that the Republicans were robbed. And then I'm like, wait a minute, you were going on BitChute and all these alternative channels and seeing how they were talking about the election being robbed a year and a half ago. And they were making and fabricating that excuse as a way of stealing the election themselves. There's competing forces that are fraudulent in this. And from a conspiracy theory standpoint, I think the problem is people don't have a good job of differentiating between what they believe and want to believe and what they know. And a lot of times what they believe isn't actually their belief. They're plagiarizing someone else's belief because they've self-identified with it so much. Yeah. And that becomes the problem, and that's where we get into the conspiracies. And then Jonathan and I talk about this, and I think we're going to have some discussions on meditation, about how that's the pragmatic goal of meditation is to actually see how you're lying to yourself, first and foremost, and the importance of being that proverbial hurricane, of being able to admit what you don't know so that it gives yourself a fighting chance to figure out something out, to learn something.
Right. Well, different sides of the same coin. And this is where, these principle level discussions always lead me back to, is that it's why every revolution failed, right? Because after a revolution, you have the same principle-minded people that there's more of us, we're stronger than you, we're right, so we get to dictate who to oppress, how, what the system looks like, things like that. And it brings you back to a root level. Human sovereignty is where we need to proceed, because philosophically, there's absolutely no root difference between Democrats and Republicans. They're the exact same rule by force group that have different ideas on how to get to an endpoint that will make them happy, but they're no different. And they swap sides every 8 to 4 years based on this same, a systemic level rule by force system that they want to dictate to everybody else.
So before Paul chimes in, I know he's probably chomping at the bit, but one of the things that was really fun.
Let me say this. Hang on. Before you say that, let me say this. One, I appreciate the fact that I got both of you guys on and you're both acting mature as hell. I appreciate that, because if nobody knows, there's some root level disagreements between the gentlemen, and they've had bouts in the past. And this is the most productive discussion I've had with the two of you on. So I really appreciate the level of maturity you have, and I think it was a very a federalist approach to say, what you just said, which makes sense. We need Thor to disagree, and we need you to disagree, and I disagree. If the three of us disagreed and we had different approaches, but we're all in the same foxhole, like we're firing at the enemy, you might see, a solution in using this weapon. I'm using this tool or that tool, and if I'm wrong and you're wrong, well, thank God Bofon is right. Or thank God, we're wrong and you're right. So I really appreciate it. I just want to say that.
So one thing, and this was coming up yesterday, I was going to try to chime in when we were talking, you were talking debate and yesterday. And because it was fresh in my mind, and from these conversations I was kind of having, I think, Gerard, you and I operate the same way, where we have a lot of inner dialogue going on as we're walking around in the garden, outside, drinking coffee, making coffee, these types of things. And we value those conversations because we realize that they're pragmatic. But, I've been saying this for a while. It's not about kind of respecting different perspectives, because that's part and partial. A debate and an argument cannot happen if both sides aren't being honest, because then it's just a gaslighting attempt. It's just, and that's where things are breaking down. And they weren't talking about that in that NPR culture. They were still talking about, from a standpoint of going, there's still a truth we need you to subscribe to, and you need to subscribe to this truth, and we own that. We know what's true because of this data and this study that you can't do or control or interpret for yourself, so you have to trust us. And instead of going, wait a minute, that's what they're telling us is their interpretation of the data. They're not sharing the data. They're telling us what to think. That right there is going to try to tell me that I shouldn't trust this. I'm going to sit back and kind of watch this for a little while, right? And we don't do a very good job of that. And differentiating and going, okay, what's being said, how it's being said, and who's saying it, and the consistency of that. And that gets played against us. I think Coco just made a good point of talking about how conspiracy has been kind of used against us. And that was the whole point of QAnon. A lot of this alternative media and these people going, oh, no, you need to subscribe to us because we know what's going to happen and trust the plan. And this is going to happen. And wait till this date when everything comes to light. And it was like, y'all are full of shit. And by design. It contradicts itself.
Let me jump in there. So usually what I see, and the reason I don't go with the conspiracies where, you know, it's obviously fantastical is because that date always comes. And I'm old enough now where I don't look like a fool when that date comes, right? But to go along with the QAnon and the left and the right and all of them, there's always just enough truth. Like they're not full of, you know, bullshizzle, but they're definitely it's mostly bullshizzle, but there's always just enough truth to get intelligent people to bite into something and run with it because they want the rest of it to be true. So like there always is. I have to
say something now. This just boils down to belief, and people are very prone to believing in stuff, and they like second and third hand information because that, you know, that doesn't require anything from them. It doesn't require them to even think. This is the way it is, and then we just accept that. But you know, that has more to do with, yeah, like he said, being honest to yourself, perhaps first of all. What do you actually know about something? Are you talking from an educated standpoint or whatnot? Or are you just like throwing around ideas on something that, you know, might be too complicated for you to solve? On another thing, when it comes to the internet problem in itself and becoming a monopoly and all this, we had, you know, more regulations on the internet in the past, and the FCC got, you know, deregulated, and that opened up the floodgates for these big companies to take over the internet and more or less just buy up the internet backbone. And that is the process we need to, you know, get back to, where we're actually regulating the internet backbone, and we can hold them accountable, and we can actually, you know, force open the gates and make that open mic, you know, forum for people, whatnot. Right now, it's a forum for a few select people, and they are the ones controlling the whole narrative. And yeah, I just want to get back to the problem as such.
So, Paul, you might be too young to remember this, but around the 2008 timeframe, there was a Supreme Court ruling talking about the individuality of corporations, and it basically gave them kind of more of a carte blanche here in the United States to act and be recognized as individuals. And that was kind of the first step before what you're talking about, and treating the ISP less as a public utility and more as a private domain that corporations own.
Yeah, I know that. And just so you know,
I didn't know.
I'm 42 years old.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to greet Lori real quick. Hey, Lori Root Riley, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Fantastic. The revolution happened. What do you think is going on?
Say 6 and 2 so I can feel like I'm at home.
I'm fixing to tell you. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at my papers. I need to stop that. Yeah, I think with the disagreement, that's something we're always going to have with other humans, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it keeps us from being the robotic transhumans they want to turn us into, that just do exactly as programmed all the time. My light is weird, huh? Sorry, so bright. So what we need to learn individually and as a collective, as much as possible, a big area for working on is how we disagree, how we react when we disagree.
Mhm.
You know, and we all know this. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it is hard. It's hard for us we're emotional creatures as well. And so it's hard for us sometimes to be mature, especially in comment sections of live streams. We're not in a room facing each other, you know. So that's our goal, I think, is to
Well,
play nice, be kind, speak your truth, because it is dangerous to follow false flags and to believe. How many people that were on the Q train are sad as heck right now? Something for 2 years or more, 3 years, they've been
What-
following, keeping up the hope.
You know what's really funny to watch though is how that Q train is now rewriting itself and creating new excuses to not deal with reality, to not deal with the obvious. Is crazy. I mean, and that's what sociopathy is, right? Is that type of behavior, is choosing not to deal with the here and now as it is, the choice, not the inability, but the choice.
Just for the record, QAnon is a psyop. It's there to
yes.
distract people from important stuff and of course put stupid ideas in their head. But mostly it's there to trigger a fight between the right and the left, the teamsters. And it's very easy to get people to adhere to one of the teams. So,
Sure.
you know, getting a fight going will, of course, at the end of the day, make it much easier for you to step in as a referee or a politician and offer a solution. This is the Hegelian principle right here, just being displayed in front of our eyes. And I just hope everybody recognizes it.
It's a big lesson to learn. And a lot of us called that out for what it is, exactly what you said, you know, a couple of years ago, because we saw that kind of coming. It's almost like people haven't, and that's part of the problem with conspiracy, is people have to subscribe to some kind of truth, and they fail to realize that they think that if I'm being told this and it doesn't add up, then that means this is true on the polar opposite, when they fail to realize that there is no truth. They just need you as confused as possible, so that you can't determine for yourself what is not true and have to be put in a position to be told what is true by some authority, some sense of authority.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk
And
about it
I have
also, though.
I have something to say about that. The psychologist Pavlov, the guy who did experiments with his dogs, if not everybody's familiar, Pavlov had a set of dogs, and he trained them with associations like bells and whistles and, you know, different triggers to make them do different things. When he fed them, he might have rung a bell, and when they were going out for a walk, he might have, you know, done some other thing, visual or audio, so they would be, you know, patterned with this stuff. But then he tried to do all of it at once one time. And what the result was, he called it disassociation syndrome. It ended up with the dogs just starting to, you know, make strange sounds like beep, beep, and went into the corner, laid down, and didn't know what to do. It was called disassociation syndrome, but you can do the same with a human. You just push enough information, enough distracting information at once, and the human will disassociate from everything and go into escapism mode. So that was just the point there.
So
We don't like to admit that we're still animals, right?
Right. I think that the worst thing about it was because all psyops are exactly like you said, Paul. But I think the worst thing about this one was the false hope. It's like having a lover that promises you everything and then delivers a big pile of shit. And it's going to crush your soul. And so for anybody, I've been railing against it the whole time because I'm going to speak truth. I don't love you if I tell you lies or pretend to go along with you when I know it's wrong. It's like telling a kid, okay, go ahead and play in the street, honey. You're enjoying it. You know, you don't do that if you really care. So for all of you guys that have been on the Q train, I love you. We're still here. It's okay. We've been through this ourselves. I don't think there's a human alive that hasn't believed false narrative in their life at some point. You know, we're
Yeah,
all still here.
And let's make sure that we make it clear, though, that even though it's a psyop, doesn't mean that it wasn't true to a degree, right? Because what they like to do is derail trains. Right?
Well,
So,
the best lies have a little bit of truth to them, right?
having enough
Sure.
truth, right? So where
Yeah.
the passion comes from and the hurt comes from is that human trafficking is a very real thing. Child trafficking is a very real thing. And that was
Yeah.
the most powerful, passionate thing I saw people get pulled in on, is because they knew that this was the case and they wanted to help children. And it builds up this hope in heroes that, oh, I don't have to do anything to help children. I'm going to go ahead and let the heroes do that. I'm just glad that they're doing it. And this was where, you know, I tried best I could to not feed into it and be anti-Q or pro-Q, but in the middle and say human trafficking is true. And do you want to give the future of all these children and women in the hands of Donald Trump? Do you want to put the future of all of these real people having real problems, facing real abuse in the hands of a guy on the internet, a person on the internet that is a fantasy profile, and especially on an internet where nobody is secret? There's no secret people fighting the deep state on the internet, because like how we talked about Beaufont, all of these systems are controlled. They're all over a network. They're all sitting on servers where everybody is known. They know everybody. And so, you know, but that the hope that I think that some of you might have feel that you just lost, look at it from a positive perspective. Don't go along with the next narrative. Take what that power that came from educating millions of people on the real problems with foster care, human trafficking, and all the kids and women that are grabbed from the NATO wars, and take that and don't give it back to a hero, but do something positive with that. So to me, I mean, you can look at it where it's a loss of hope, you're dropped off, or you can look at it as an education cycle, like what Lori said, in terms of a relationship doesn't work out, a marriage doesn't work out, you know, you're dealing with the sadness after, but then you learn from it. And you learn the next time you don't pick a guy up in a bar that's drunk. You don't, date someone who was cheating on someone else with you. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the same scenario. So I think great things can come out of it. We just have to accept that all the narratives are they're almost all psyops all the time.
So I want to reiterate what I was talking about before, talking about how people can't admit what they don't know, and they'll fight for their biases. And that's the issue that we have in quote unquote debates. And again, it's an issue of self-honesty, because we're going to see the issue we're going to have isn't going forward, as an example, is going to be these QAnon types, as an example, that are going to continue perpetuating, how they're reading the palm leaves to give themselves some kind of false hope to not come around and go they're not going to be able to admit that they were wrong. And they're going to do so, and that's the frustrating thing. So that's anytime I've had an issue in debate and/or argument, that's always been my huge frustration, because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to talk sense to this person. We're not going to be able to agree to disagree. It's one thing to look at, if Gerard, it's one thing for you and I to look at an actual data set. And I do some kind of statistical analysis on it, and I demonstrate to you how I did that, and then you go, well, I would have treated the data this way. And we can go, oh, I can see how you could do that and arrive at a slightly different perspective. That's a debate, that's an argument. We understand, at least there's you did this a little bit differently, and I can at least see how that's plausible, and how that perspective that has come from that process along with mine can still stand on their own. And there's a gray area that we're discussing here. And that's a normal, healthy debate and argument. And what we have failed to realize is that we have gone so far, most of our debates and arguments aren't healthy, and they never talk about this on the NPR, because that would be real. Right? Because that whole segment was kind of the same thing as QAnon, of going, oh no, if you don't believe this, then you don't have any credibility. If you don't believe it, if you question it, you don't have any credibility. Right. If you don't subscribe to it.
Right. You don't get any stickers for honesty. There's no reward for truth, right? There's no money. There's no power that comes with not picking a side or going full bore on anything. I think that is the other learned lesson from a lot of this should be, don't ever go full bore with anything. I know everybody wants to talk. I didn't think that there would be like 10 seconds of silence.
Whoops.
Ah,
I had my mic off. I was talking with my mic off.
Oh, okay.
So, what Bo said about admitting you were wrong, that's the hardest thing for people to do. Like, you know, and we're looking at your own part in getting with that fool, marrying that abuser, whatever it is, because you were half of that equation. You know, you said yes. You ignored false flags. I mean, not false flags, red flags, another kind of flag, and kept rolling on. And then later you're, oh, I'm a victim. I was fooled. And so that is a real maturity and growth point when you see your own actions and you say, I was friggin' wrong. I mean, there's nobody that's ever been perfect except for maybe Jesus Christo or whoever, you know, but we didn't know him in the flesh, right? So that's another maturity point. Like, I was freaking wrong. You know, I was wrong about Bernie. I was wrong about Jill Stein. I've been wrong about so many things in my life. And so,
and that's why I give you so much credibility in terms of integrity. I know when your mouth opens, Lori, you believe what's coming out of it. I don't think that you would ever tell me or anybody else a lie. And the ability to admit, you know what, this is what I think, or better yet, this is what I know, this is what I think, you know, and be okay with that. And I'm probably gonna be wrong to some degree of it, because we literally live in a world where everything is controlled. All the science, all the data, the everything is limited in terms of knowledge of what we're allowed to have, which is what keeps them in power. And the only way to get integrity back is to start admitting more and more and more, I was wrong. And I'm okay with that. You know, I tried my best. And next time I try again. Mm-hmm.
If everybody just talked about what they know, we would have very short conversations. It would be like, oh.
Right, it would, exactly. And so we have to delineate. And that's what one of my gurus, the Sage Guru, I love it. He said, we have to start being honest about what we know and what we think. And when you really think about, well, what you know, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, because we're all indoctrinated from birth. And even a lot of things we think we know, we just think that because it's been ingrained in us since birth.
So that's the difference in my mind between religion and spirituality. Religion is going, this is what you need to believe. Spirituality is you coming and formulating your beliefs based on your experiences and your own meditation. And Paul, I wanted to just interject, because what you might not realize coming into this group is between Gerard, Lori, and I, we've beat the hell out of each other in the last 3 or 4 years. I've blocked Lori a couple times. I call Gerard out on his bullshit sometimes. And, you know, and like, I mean, so, I mean, we've had our little tips with it.
I'll answer that, because I recognize how it was targeted at me. And I am here to be opinionated and not be censored, in short, because that's pretty much what you have to accept if you want free speech, that the other guy gets to actually say his part too. I know that is a hard one to swallow for a lot of people, but that's the truth. That's free speech.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to, I know I was more touching upon how, like, we're not all happy-go-lucky love and woo-woo over here. I mean, we've
we do not.
I know Gerard for quite a few years actually now, and I'm sensitive to your certain particular style, so don't worry.
What's so funny is when people call us a cult following Gerard, it's like we're all over the place. We believe so many different things, and we argue with Gerard. You don't do that with your cult leader.
I've been arguing with Gerard since he was voting.
Well, as a cult leader, as a cult member, you're allowed to have certain discussions because that's the kind of cult it is. But me, as an outsider coming in and questioning the cult leader, I get attacked from all sides. Like, oh, Thor, we hate you, Thor. Like, yeah, that kind of stuff. So,
It might be
that's my opinion.
more. I
I'm
think
leader.
it's more in the way you say things than what you say. Because I agree with you about almost everything that I've heard you say.
I know. I just do it on purpose. It's kind of my thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
What
it's
is
like
your
Chris
argument?
Lewis. Like it took me a couple of years to get used to Chris Lewis because he was always fucking yelling, and I'm like, ah! Like I wouldn't actually be able to listen to him sometimes because all I heard was the yelling, not the content.
Okay.
And that's just, and I would kind of, at first I was like, yo, and then he's like, that's just my style, dude. I'm like, oh, you're aware that you're doing it, and this is just your platform or how you're saying it, and this is a style in which you need to broadcast. I got it. Go do you. And if I'm having problems with it, I'll chime in and listen to you whenever I feel like I have the bandwidth to do so.
So
Yeah.
We are
You keep on being Chris Lewis, right?
let me
we are billions of people on this planet, and different strokes for different folks. Some will relate to me, some will relate to you and Laurie and Gerard. Different people, but we're all here together. So we bring more people in that way.
I'm controlling this joker. No. I'm gonna be the cult leader. I've decided. I've been trying to start a cult for a long time, and I don't think I'm gonna give up that power. I think I'm gonna run with it. You called me the cult leader. I'm gonna be a cult leader. We're gonna have robes and hoods, and we're gonna have some seances. No, you know what the funny thing is?
Robes and hoods. Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Do we have to have sex with each other?
That's a must. But as a cult leader, I get to determine who has sex with who and how often, and So you have no idea how many times people say, "Oh, I'm not going to your page because you have a cult over there." And you know what happened? Let me give you my breakdown of what I think. I don't block people. And so because I don't block people and I try to listen to people, I think I became like this little axis that everybody was hanging around. And so it just worked out that way that people, they tend to come to my page. So you got the left, the right, the Q, the non-Q, the pro-vaxxer, the anti-vaxxer. You got all these people because I just didn't block them. And so it became this axis. And that the problem with coming in new, and no, Thor's not new. I've known Thor for years, but the problem coming in new to like the live stream and the discussions full bore is people around that axis of this little weird dude that doesn't block anybody. They started to find synergies and they started unblocking each other. The argument started, they stopped going away. I would shift my mind in how I thought. And so there's some commonalities that were coming out, even though you were left and you're right, you were Bernie or you were Trump or whatever. There were some certain commonalities that you started to agree with, I think, in people. And so when you come in new, it feels like a cult because you're like, what the hell? Like you come in and people are talking about sovereignty and root freedom and revolutions don't work and things like that. And it feels like all these people all agree on everything. But in reality, it's just certain key principles that we're all starting to rotate around as like an axis. But I want to start a cult. I've been trying. They won't.
Just let me answer. Just let me answer that one, Gerard. I would say a cult leader does not a cult make. You need a cult following, and that's what you have. That's what makes it a cult. Not you, but the followers.
Well, I don't think.
I need to know. I want to.
Hang
on. Who follows me? Because everybody I see here, I've been in flat out disagreements with. Who follows me?
So Gerard, I don't think he's not talking about you and your control. There is and amongst our circle of little talking heads that like to do live casts on a regular basis, there is kind of like this, I am the source of esoteric knowledge, politically, spiritually, alternatively, and you need to listen to what I have to say. And I think some of that is changing in the live cast culture to where maybe 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of us wouldn't come on here and talk because we felt like we needed to possess some contrived level of that esoteric knowledge. Instead, now we're trying to have conversations to share our experiences and how we figure things out and how we choose to navigate this quagmire of uncertainty. And that's a different conversation. But I think what Paul is saying is that there's a lot of personalities that like to talk a lot of shit in the comment stream and call out what they say is going to happen. Wait to this date when the truth is known and shit like that. And I mean, you can't control that, Gerard, but at the same time, there are a lot of those personalities on here because I block them.
Some of my absolute favorite memories of being a cult follower of Gerard's, if you want to call it that, have been the arguments between me and him, dude. And each one of us wins about 50% of the time. So it's very interesting. It's very boring to me if everyone is agreeing all the time and just nodding your head. Like, that's a big waste of time to me.
Yeah. I think a neat thing that comes out of it is that as we see each other be wrong, it creates this cultish family of a groupish thing and someone new comes in and they bring something interesting. And so to get back to the whole esoteric, ancient philosophy and knowledge and all that stuff that's starting to come, someone brought that, or groups of people. And I don't know where that came from. I mean, I would do videos on like ancient Egypt and ancient technology and Nikola Tesla technology, stuff like that. And someone brought this whole new, interesting, esoteric, ancient knowledge, meditation, yoga thingy. And there were enough people who looked into certain things and say, hey, you know what? There's something to this. And they started talking about it, which led me to talk about it. And then they would post about it, and then it would grow. And so what's happening is even when people come in and they're wrong about something or perceived to be wrong in time, they're bringing in new blood and new knowledge and new information. And it's forming this thing that eventually is going to get deleted off the internet if you don't go over to, and follow on the website, because, and I got to work on that. But there is something that's evolving, and there's nobody that's in control of it, because I don't block and delete anyone. I disagree with almost everybody eventually. And the general group drives that. If anything, I try to stir the Kool-Aid where I can. I try to introduce new concepts. I try to defend a piece of something that looks like it might be true.
Also, Gerard does do this thing to where he says something that he knows he doesn't really believe in to try to get reaction.
Shut up. I mean, don't say that. Shut up. Hush.
But no, you admitted that to me.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh, he was playing. Okay, I thought you were being serious, and I was beating you up for it. Okay,
no,
got it.
You know what? So, all right, so, well, to be honest with that, so, there is a thing that is healthy, and that is debating yourself, right? Putting something out there that you don't particularly believe and trying to debate it from the perspective that you believe it on what you know. And it evolves you, and it takes you some. Oh Lord, here they go. See, now you told them the secret. Somebody opening their mouth. So, Gerard doesn't believe everything he posts. No, it's sometimes it's. I'm trying to clean it up. It's helpful because when I was on the debate team, like this is what we would do, right? How do you win the debate? When I used to run, when I was in sales, we would run. We'd bring in the new salespeople, and we would do handling objection meetings, right? And we would handle objections. And so you got to put yourself in the customer side and just start objecting. And then we would do better and better. You got to go. Okay. All right, Lord. We'll see you.
Can I say one thing before I go? I have a patient calling me, but the reason I block, and I believe in the block, is a lot of it's me, because I know I've already gone too far with this person, and nothing good is going to come out of me after that. And part of it is them sometimes, and that is I grew up like not respecting myself, having very low self-esteem. That's no longer a problem for me. But if I listen to people calling me all kinds of bad names and belittling me, I can't handle it. So
Right.
But just
I'm
let
looking
go.
out for
Just
looking out for
ignore it.
myself. It's not that I dislike
Just let
other
it go.
people or can't handle other viewpoints. It's that I'm taking care of me, so I have no apology for that. If I can't help you and you can't help me, there's no sense in us
And I want to interject real
continuing
quick.
stupidity. I love you guys.
All right, thank you, Lori. Absolutely.
Thanks, Gerard. See you
Thank you. We'll
later.
see you soon. Love you.
I want to piggyback off what she was talking about from a conversation I was having with a friend in Seattle just over the weekend. And he's been having some problems at work with a person. And I was like, any minute you get into a position where you feel like you have to justify yourself, you're in the wrong position. And you don't, and no one has to, if you're being honest and you're not trying, as long as you're not trying to manipulate anybody else or deceive somebody else, and for the most part being honest and genuine, no one needs to justify their own thresholds and their own comfort zones. And the minute they feel like they have to, that should be one of the first flags of kind of like doing whatever they feel like necessary to kind of protect their psychic sovereignty, as it were, with that.
I want to offer a piece of advice from a guy who died like 2,500 years ago. He was called the Buddha, and he told everybody to just let go because it's not worth holding on to, and it's illusory in itself. So offense is something you should really just let go of right away. It has no value as such.
And everyone kind of has their own way of doing that, right? And so you kind of have to make room for that. That's one of the things I loved about Siddhartha.
If we're being honest to ourselves, when you let go of something, and when you haven't let go of something.
Exactly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Great point. I'll be having a hard stop here about 9:45 my time because I have a 10 o'clock meeting I need to support.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's good, but we all learn over time. One thing I had to let go of that I learned early on. I used to love alien UFOs. They were so much fun. It was just it was delicious. I used to chew that.
Used to. What's this used to bullshit?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Used to. Let me tell you why. Because I still know the aliens exist. I just don't think that they're around. I just think it's mostly the SR-71. It's just the new electromagnetic device. And so while I love the alien conversation and like speculating, having grown up around a guy who worked in the Pentagon and his friends, they're always keeping a lot of things from us. And so what someone, and I don't know who it was, who brought to the group was Nikola Tesla, right? And the technology and the patents are the things that there's always a stealth bomber that they're keeping from the population and the free energy conversation. So one thing I had to let go of is that, why would aliens come here and reveal themselves to us? They've got better things to do. That most of everything that everybody sees, it's just China Air Force, China Space Force, Russia Space Force, American Space Force, and this whole Project Bluebeam. It's just technology we haven't been exposed to. It's fantastical, right? It has to be little green men, and it's not. It's a guy with a wife and some kids, or a woman with a husband, and she's just doing her job.
Did you ever watch that documentary, The Mirage Men? Or it's just called Mirage Men. It's not the in front, just Mirage Men. It's about a disinformation agent who actually worked for the government to spread these UFO stories to cover up secret experiments. And he came out and whistle blew the whole thing. His name is Doty, D-O-T-Y. And
there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up right now. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. So
what is a lot of?
Mm-hmm. He goes into detail about SR-71 and all those, everything that happened around that time and how they were supposed to just bake it into some conspiracy theory to make people seem, not very credible about, details they might have discovered.
The same thing with QAnon, right? It's the same thing, right. And there might be a little bit of truth to it, and to give it a little credence and just enough to make people obsess over it. And
Yeah.
and that's part of that meditation and letting go, though, is going. The best way to see what's going on is kind of recognize your need and addiction to know something definitive, right?
Yep.
Not
That's
all
our first
things
and foremost.
are knowable.
And
Right.
so Q is a great example. And the reason why Q is a great example is because child trafficking is happening, and it's prolific.
Mhm.
And there's obviously something flying around that we don't understand that's not using fossil fuels, right? And so I think the best breakdown of how they derail people is Annie Jacobson's book on Area 51, right? The whole Area 51, it came from the idea of railroading people so they'll think this technology is aliens. And that was, the same Q thing where you take something that's true and then you route people in the wrong direction. And what that does, it creates this side of, oh my God, this is all real. It's aliens. They're coming to invade and blah, 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 blah. And the other side, oh, none of it's true. It's impossible. The Nikola Tesla technology wasn't real at all. And the truth is always in the middle. And this is the psyop that Annie Jacobson's book is about, is that they create these narratives to keep people arguing about what doesn't matter. And so to me, that topic, what always matters is the fact that they have free energy. And no energy is free.
They made some quantum motor of some sort. It might not be free energy, but they probably, made some quantum physical motor that works on air or something, and they're just keeping it from people.
Right. And that's what they always do. Yeah. And so the problem is all the wars are fought over that, and to swap it right back to Q, like, why is all the human trafficking and war and conflict and, why do you have Democrats and Republicans and America and China in conflict and trade agreements and poverty? It's all because they have technologies that they could release the entire planet from global enslavement. And that's why I can't let that topic go. And I'll never let it go. Because being an engineer, that's how my mindset works. Right? You have to power the 3D printers. You've got to power the water desalinators. You got to power a world where human beings can be released to go do their crazy hippie cult, consciousness, meditation.
There's a sort of philosophy that goes back a few hundred years about how the controlling elite needs to do their job to keep, the mass psychosis from happening, because people in big groups, they have lower intelligence than these elitist gatherings, and that is a philosophy like the Freemasons and everybody have been talking about for ages, about how they need to control these urges in people, because they at the end of the day, they are irrational beings who need guidance to get to the Lord or whatnot. So, yeah.
So I have to take off, but I want to leave you guys. And this is kind of a conversation I probably will pick up with Jonathan at some point later, because we want to talk about meditation in a future live cast. But, from the book, from the concept from reading Stranger in a Strange Land, one of the things that was, with the character of Smith, and he's operating on a totally different timeline, and he's operating more from a quantum mind, and operating from a standpoint of in that meditative consciousness of feeling what is real. And one of the things that you get out of that is that you can't feel in that meditative consciousness. And I'm not talking spiritual woo. I'm talking about being the eye of that hurricane thing. You can't feel things that don't exist, that are untrue. As part of that, you can only feel what's real in that moment, and that's the difference between that monkey mind thinking and feeling. And I'm not talking about feeling from an emotional standpoint. I'm talking about feeling from a consciousness and awareness standpoint. And I mean, I have a 10 o'clock meeting I need to go support, so I need to get ready for that. But I want to leave you on that note.
Awesome. All right, brother. Have a good day now.
Thank you. Hi, Harsh.
Harsh Medications.
And Paul, it was good talking to you. Take care.
Take care.
Nice.
Harsh Medications. What's happening with your brother?
Nothing much. I mean, part of me is enjoying the winning the reface war, and another part of me is thinking about how I'm going to be censored from Facebook in about 10 days. So yeah, I'll be surprised if any of us are going to be on this damn site and by the 31st with the way they're going. Like
Yeah,
I'm checking my pages right now. I'm checking my pages. They're not even letting me publish to my own fucking pages, even though when I go for the verification, like, oh no, you've completed the process, and I'm like, what type of fuckery is this?
Yeah, but did you see the page I made that they just unpublished before we actually posted on it? Yellow
No,
Vest
but
2.0. Yeah, I think I put you in actually, but yeah,
I'm not surprised they unpublished it. I'm really not. With the way they're
we
going,
didn't have one post, not one single post on there, and we're unpublished. So
yeah, that's the way they're going. It's. I mean,
Well, it's billions of dollars. I mean, I think Kim Iverson did a great breakdown on it. She basically showed that these companies were lined up to get billions of dollars when they got the right people in Washington. And they got that through the cabinet picks. And, you know, this is not an anti-Biden thing or pro-Biden thing or Trump or anything. It's just money. And big tech, they've been waiting for these billions of dollars that they were being promised. And so Microsoft and Google and IBM and a bunch of them, they've just finally got the billions that they need, and they got the authority that they need to start shutting down free speech. And so they're going full bore. And so, yeah, they're going to start deleting pages and people by, you know, probably by the thousands. And that's the world they want. They want a world where it's 100% controlled. Social media, they want it to be the mainstream media. They want to be able to dictate what you can and can't say about the products that their funders, their investors are selling in the town square.
Right. And they want, sorry. And they want people to be all panicked and shit too. It's just,
yeah, just to piggyback off that, you know, we're losing access to everything pretty much, and we have no free speech anymore. The internet is a monopoly, and like you said, a few companies have taken over, but we have seen this since its inception, when the FCC was deregulated and we opened the floodgates for these companies to come in and just take control over everything. Well, you had that regulated back in the days. Today, you can own the entire internet, and no rules will stop you from dictating what goes on there. And that is a problem. That goes against, you know, the very fundamental principles we have in a democracy of free speech. So we need to, and I know this sounds bad again, we need to give the FCC their fucking teeth back and let them bite those big companies out of, you know, the internet monopoly business. So, yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about, they wash over that. So what, if you don't know what Thor's talking about, that's the Telecommunication Act, right? And this was, I mean, Bill Clinton was one of the most dangerous presidents that we've ever had, for the simple fact that, I mean, that Telecommunications Act is where a lot of these conflicts came from.
yeah.
Like when it broke apart all of the 10,000, 20,000 different voices that were allowed through radio stations and allowed all of that consolidation to happen, that's where now they say, what, 8 companies control like 70 or 80 or what is it, 90% of all the media now.
Yeah,
and we know who it is. It's Time Warner and Disney, and you know the list. You know, I don't even have to.
It's like 5 corporations own 90% of the media. It was I want to say it was a Telecommunications Act of '96 that set it in stone, and then in '87 when Reagan repealed the Fairness Doctrine Act, that was like the starting point of it. So
yeah, but they did more deregulations afterwards too. I think it was 2003 they really opened the whole thing up. Anyway, we see the results.
Yeah, 2003 was the final nail in the coffin. Either way, it's at the point where it's like, you know, the FCC can't even do its job, or none of these like governmental bodies can, you know, do their actual jobs and enforce these antitrust measures because, you know, like Thor said, the FCC doesn't have its teeth. So we.
Yeah.
Well, it's the death of the last effective parts of politics, And I think this is where a lot of us fell away, is when we started reading laws and realizing that, oh, wow. So, I mean, these are all small corporations within a larger corporation, and they all need money. And if the FCC needs money, the FCC isn't going to bite the hand that feeds it, right? And so everything gets played into creating clones out of everybody. And this is why the extreme right is so extremely right and the extreme left is so extremely left, because they're only being shown on those channels or those television stations the things that make them increasingly angrier and increasingly hate the other side. And that's what brought us here. And they can't do it. The FCC, they can't fix themselves, right? The United States Incorporated, it can't fix itself. The Federal Reserve can't fix itself. And no president is that stupid. No, after JFK, no congressman or senator even has the power. The power is with the people. And until the people stop letting the mass media divide them up on the newest ignorant concept, things are going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then they'll wake up and that pendulum will swing back.
Yeah, bondage and some guy listed the whole cycle of governments and our nations and what they go through, and it goes from like emancipation to bondage and back to emancipation. It's like some loopy-loop system. It sounds really gloomy and awful, but I don't know if I subscribe to that the whole thing though. But we seem to be going backwards in time when it comes to stuff like that, where we suddenly give big multi-billion-dollar corporations control over our speech and platforms like that. But it all boils down to the corruption factor. If you have like a few billion to spend on people, even if you're not getting actually directly paid from a multi-billion-dollar company, you understand that being on their side might be in your benefit at the end of the day. They find ways to circumvent the whole corruption thing, So, the FCC commissioners are probably living the high life today because they made that decision, But yeah, it didn't.
Perfect system. It's the perfect system, right? It's a system made of hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people, and they all just want a little piece of what they need. Their stickers, right? Which is why I love the sticker analogy. And it creates an entire system of people who will embrace the plantation and keep pushing things forward. And this is where the whole off-grid conversation comes in, right? Until we learn to live without their stickers, we're going in the wrong direction.
Right. I mean, I know some people say it's theater, it's all part of the show, but at the same time, when we live in a society where a sitting president of the United States can be censored by big tech, I mean, that's pretty alarming. And before someone says, oh, well, they're private corporation, blah, 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 blah. That is true. But the thing is, then, as Thor mentioned on our old live streams, that if they do that, then they become publishers and they end up losing the Article 230 protections, Section 230 protections. So.
Right. And the other debate, which I find that conversation highly interesting. I mean, social media is the town square, and you're obviously not allowed to criticize the biggest shopkeepers in the town square, but also the Nazis were a private organization also. We don't cheer about them, right? They were a private organization and everything they did was legal. Right, they create laws.
And why are the private corporations have all this power and all these rights when we don't even have the right to walk on the street anymore? I think this seems very, backwards. And a company is not a human. A company should be regulated because a company can go over its, logical size, so to speak. We should, of course, control stuff like giant fucking media corporations, but that seems un-American somehow. So of course many people are against it. But I urge people to think about this. well, they gave those corporations, human rights, and they took away the rights from the actual humans. So now we have corporations ruling this planet, and they have more rights than, like you said, a fucking president. Is something wrong with this picture, people? Break it down, regulate it again. We're the ones who are supposed to have the benefits, not the corporations. The corporations are there to give us stuff, okay? And if they don't behave, we should get rid of them. Let's be honest.
Well, right. I mean, well, like Scarshine says, things are back. Things are backwards in this country. Like it's the reverse. Like everything is in this country is backwards. Well, I'm paraphrasing. I don't think that's the exact quote.
What I think it's centralized control, and this is why I'm certainly for the breaking apart of the monopolies and centralized power. Coming from an engineering perspective, which is all I can come from. That's who I am, and that is, you want a system that is robust as possible. And the most robust system is where the people, the individual components, have all the power and they can operate autonomously or individually or in smaller community groups. And so when you have an open source society and there are no secrets, it means that anybody can go off and create their own servers. Anyone can go off, create their own networks. Anyone can go off their own cell towers. And so when the centralized powers are flirting with becoming Nazis and they're doing things that are inherently dangerous to the planet or the human population, then we can just go and do our own thing. And this is what, the founding fathers got right initially. And that is, if we're going in the direction of human sovereignty, we're going in the right direction. If we're going the direction of more feudal, larger empire, imperial powers, we're going the wrong direction. And I'm going to concur with both of your points on Donald Trump. It's not about them censoring Donald Trump. Like, I don't really care necessarily about that. It's right. The fact that you have corporations that feel they have the power to silence who most people follow as the leader of their nation. And it's insanity that anybody would clap for that. But they have this controlled narrative going that, oh, he's a bad guy. And so because he's a bad guy, I'm okay with them doing something that is horrific to all voices in humanity who would have a platform to say the things that they feel that they need to say. But that's the danger of what, back to your point, Thor, of what, and I think there was something before that Harsh said, but the one I'm most familiar with is the Telecommunications Act. That was the real danger of it, because
Fairness Doctrine Act being repealed in 87.
In 87. Is you set these precedences that there is a such thing as people who don't have a right to speak. And the left, unfortunately, is just too far down that insanity slide, which is why I got the crazy lady behind me, because they're actually hearing what's going to eventually come back and hit them. It always does. And they can't see that because they're so wrapped up in this narrative that he's racist, but yet they support the #1 racist, colonizing, East India trading, Columbus corporation on the planet, the United States Incorporated.
Yeah, it's pretty alarming how it's pretty alarming how we live in 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 and some of these other books at the same time. And I think, speaking of shameless plug, but Professor Fate is going to be on the Harsh Reality tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central to talk about third part of Fahrenheit 451. So that's going to be a fun story. Now in regards to that, I think Bo on last week's Thursday show was when he wasn't, throwing you under the bus. He was talking about how, I mean, when he said that, I was like, hey, but
yeah, that was rough. That was that one. It wasn't even you, Harsh. That was the problem. Like you were the nice guy. You were the nicest.
I know. Yeah, it's a very inverted universe when I'm the nice guy in the room. So. That's why I'm with Thor. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel I missed something. I need to go back and look at some videos here, I guess.
No, you don't need to see that.
Anyway, well, I'll send you the link later. But that's not the point. The point is, Bo was bringing up a top point about how we need to create our own like ISPs. If we're gonna have our own network, we have to create our own ISPs, have our own servers, and have our own network and centralized, internet instead of banking on the same people. Look at what happened with Parler. Because they were still on Amazon's like technology and all that.
With our own ISP servers and databases, we will have a problem when it comes to the backbone of the internet, where we actually send our information.
Right.
That structure is owned by specific people, and that needs addressing in more detail. I know I've said it 5 times now, but yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it is good, and it takes us back to the root problem. So, right, even using a technological solution, using analog broadcast and going back to less controlled frequencies that the FCC lets you do that on, you still have a problem with everything is controlled, right? You still got to put a radio tower up. You still got to pay your taxes. You still got to have land. You still have to broadcast through frequencies that they feel that they have the authority. You still got to operate in a country that is ruled by force country. It's got massive prison plantations, and they have the force to kill you or throw you in jail. So, even if we create an ISP through an analog network, in which we could, it would be very slow and it would suck, but we could. They still can just write a law tomorrow and throw everybody who did it in prison. So we're back to the root principle, which is, we don't have the right to abuse each other. And this is my problem with democracy, which was Plato's problem with democracy. Democracy is rule, mob rule by force. If the majority want to do it, then would the majority want lightning fast internet? So we all have 5G. So we all have, radio waves radiating through us at 2-inch, at 2-inch distances that are modifying ourselves because the majority agree they want lightning fast internet, which takes us back to Telecommunication Act, or the act before that, which is the very few people own all of these systems, and they dictate to the rest of us what we will tolerate or what we'll get.
Right. And that's true. At some point, when do we start using their rules against them? Like, when do we start creating our own trust, or creating our own, creating our own trust and creating our own LLCs and our own conglomerates to where we can create the people, not even just the people's internet, but also our own platforms, and I guess in a way maybe the people, projects of that.
I think the problem with that is many tried, and it all ended up corrupt the same way, because there's something about humans, they are thirsty for power. They are greedy individuals. And if you give them enough, it just snaps in their heads.
I mean, you're right about that. I could speak from experience. It's the part of the reason I left, progressive politics or left-leaning politics, political, the political activism and all that, was because for all the talk about, I would hear about, oh, well, people in the right, they get corrupt by corporate America and the millions and all that. Meanwhile, some of these idiots I was seeing, they would end up getting corrupted just because they ended up having a few thousand followers or more views on their YouTube pages and just a quote unquote seat at the table. They would sell out for the smallest fucking benefits. So some of them weren't even fucking tangible, and they would just sell out. And you're just thinking, well, if people can get corrupted over the smallest fucking praises, then imagine what the big time people, would get. And that goes back to human nature. And it really does.
I won't call that human nature. When, and it was a great question. When is enough enough? Is when it hurts enough. When it hurts enough that we don't use their systems, when we don't need their stickers, when we don't want their money, when we realize it's all blood money, when we realize it's all the politics are corrupted on all sides, when they finally go far enough, and they've already gone far enough, but not enough people see it. When enough people really see how dirty the system is, it's better to live under a rock, under a bush, out in the bush, than to touch any of their infrastructure when it finally is enough. Because I don't think it's human nature, it's controlled nature. When we want their stickers, they control us. So if you want, to have a good retirement on slavery, which is what everybody wants in America, and it's all slavery, then it means that you're no different than the billionaires at the top. You're no different than the slave owners and slave masters. When people finally realize, no, I'd rather grow my own food, I'd rather live out and live a hard life than to get down with you psychopaths. That's when
but the thing is, we can't run forever, and they're actually, like you pointed out several times, and I also pointed out earlier this week, Bill Gates and people are actually buying up all the fucking. We need to weed out the invasive plant and not run from it anymore. That's my opinion, at least.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't run from it. But
it's a gateway. It's an escape. So what Thor's talking about is how Bill Gates, he's the largest landowner now, farmland owner in the United States. So what he's doing is he realized that we can escape. There's still enough land for people to move out and live on their own. And so he's taking that escape away. And then when that happens, we're going to have to create a new escape. And so right now, the current solution is to stop using their systems because we can. But the longer we wait, the more they're going to block those exits. And then we're going to have to find a new way to escape the system. So that's
on that very thing, I want to say this to everybody listening. You should consider this land grab as a hostile one, and you should go and squat. He doesn't have an army to take care of that, and it's going to take some time to organize it. So go out and take possession of this land, grow food, and live your lives. Thank you.
Well, you know me, I can't co-sign that one. I'm a little familiar with the story of the Bundys and Lavoy Finicum. If you go out there and you squat in their land, they will murder you and they won't blink, right?
The thing is, he has acres and acres and acres of empty fucking farmland now with nobody on it at all. He's going to be moving people in to be working and everything but right now it's on the map, and go for it. Make sure he doesn't have the opportunity to monopolize your food. Think about this.
Right. Well, I will say if you are going to, I'm not saying whether or not people should do it or not, but if someone is going to be a squatter, I will say get a bag of diapers and be prepared not to bathe for a very long time, because with squatters' right, you don't get the right to running water.
Say, they are not the ones who are inciting this. I am foreign influence. I want you to squat, take control, and take your land back en masse. Thank you very much.
Yeah, get if you're gonna follow Thor's advice, get a few bags of diapers and get some hand wipes, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to keep yourself clean. I'm just putting it out there. Squatters' rights are a bitch.
If you don't want diapers and doo-doo and funky stuff everywhere, and if you don't want to be shot and murdered on somebody else's land, just go buy the land. People, there is land in America for $400 an acre. A family of four.
A lot of people do not have those resources at all. A lot of people live in high-rise buildings and don't have a stamp square to put a plant on. This is
$400.
If you're living in a if you live in a
$400, you are in prison.
People can never get out of their situation because they're so bogged down with debt, and $400 would be beautiful for them.
If you're living in one of the high rises in the nicer areas of any city in this country, you probably need $400 just to fucking park and have groceries and
that's
just function.
I'm talking about the shittier. I'm talking about the shittier buildings where everything is falling off, and it's a fucking ghetto. Look at the Bronx. Look at. Don't you live in the city?
But let's
I
answer
mean,
that.
the
Let's answer
cities
that.
are pretty big, though. I mean, like I understand what you're saying. Like certain areas, like you get past the 77, you get past like the 70 block in Chicago. That's like not where you want to be. But other places are just expensive as fucking. Even the some are the west on the, south side too. So it's like, yeah, if you live in the city, you can't spare 500. I don't know why you're living in the city. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
At the end of the day, they didn't make this. They didn't construct this with the thought of people actually growing their own food. That's supposed to be like the big, grow operations, and then you ship it back and forth through the stores and stuff, and then you can just stack people on top of each other. But in a normal context, that wouldn't work at all. Where should all these people grow their food? This needs to be better thought out.
I like peaceful solutions, and I don't want to get anyone involved in anything that's not sustainable. And right now, fighting the United States Incorporated is a fruitless battle. You're going to die, right? Most people will be happy to watch you die. If you don't have $400 to buy,
we're not fighting. We're finding smart solutions to complicated problems. We're bypassing and squatting something. It's not a fight. That is the most peaceful thing you can do. Of course, you do it without weapons and stuff. You take land that is not currently in use into possession. That is straight up. You're not trespassing. You're not going after other people's actual living space. You're going after the stuff that's not in use.
Well, right, and that land does exist. I'm giving people another option, and that option is if you don't have $400, get together $100 and get together with 3 other people, with 4 people in their family. Take that $400, go buy a piece of land, and go build your world. Like, it's not easy initially. Right. It takes a while to build it up, but there are plenty of great sources for how to take an acre of land and turn it into a productive farm where you don't have to be a part of their infrastructure. So what I'm saying though is don't
that we talked about earlier. Who are we? We are not me and you. We are the people who do not have resources on our own and go together. It could be anybody, like you just said, 3 people get together and they pool the resources, and then they can actually do something. And that is what we recommend. If that is, your reality, go for it, Well,
it's accepting it too. Like, people have to accept what's being said. They have to accept that this is actually what's coming and that these are the viable solutions, escaping their infrastructure to build a world that's based in peace and human sovereignty and things like that. So I think when people do that and they accept that, then you really only got one way to go. But, people have to get to that level, and they have to accept that, maybe I do got to get some dirty fingernails. And the sad reality right now is most people want the billionaires' infrastructure. Most people want slavery to continue. Most people are happy with genocide. They're happy with war. They're happy with this system because they love the stickers that they got.
Right. I mean,
I want to remind you that I showed you this project. It's called The Bridge in Harrisburg, where they are, basically getting together and cleaning up a property and making this into a sort of an eco-village where people can live, work, grow food, and function as such. It looks like a very progressive and innovative project, but I know a lot of similar type projects scattered around the planet, also in the United States. And the thing is that people don't really know that these things exist. And for a lot of people, the whole concept hasn't actually entered their mind. So we should expose them to these projects and show them that this is actually possible. You can build your own. Yeah.
We should, because and as someone who's gone to Flint and donated water, like doing a few times, and helped organize those events and with all sorts of promotion work, I guess. Anyway, it was a team effort. Op Flint, they've done great work for years, and I hopefully once things are opened up a little bit, then we can do more work. But as someone who's been in Flint and a few times, I realized like that I'm just looking at these neighborhoods and I'm like, Why haven't people done the co-opting, like created their own co-ops yet? Bought a property there and done co-ops. It's not that expensive to, to go there and do that.
No,
Like, not that
A lot of people have. A lot of people have. You just have to find them and present them.
Right.
You know.
All right, I'm
Knowledge
down
is
with
power.
that.
Knowledge is power, and they've indoctrinated people to think that there's only one way, and the only system is to go to school, to try to get a degree, to try to make money, and to accept the Rockefeller psychopathic world. And once you realize that, no, there are other ways to go. You don't have to live in a ghetto. You don't have to live in a barrio. You don't have to live in in a hovel. You can move out. You can buy land, and you can live on modern technology. You can live very comfortable outside of a city. And so, but I think that's happening. And I think the cities are becoming so uncomfortable to a point where people have to, not just the water, and Harsh, definitely appreciate everything you've done, from that perspective. But that's the criticality of having these conversations. And that's the only reason why I'm still having them, is there are people who still don't realize homesteading is not hard on modern technology. But that's what we have to do. We have to stop believing in their systems. We have to walk away. We can't just talk about it. We actually have to do it. And when you do it, they realize that, these people don't need me. And when, these powerful landlording, political, massive corporations realize that we know we don't need their infrastructure, that's when they'll start to capitulate. And that's when you can start bringing them back to the table, right? Where you start dictating, well, no, if you're going to exist, FCC, this is what you are going to do, right? If you are going to exist, government, you're going to break apart the monopolies. You're going to respect women's rights. You're going to respect the right of children to grow plants and sell it to their friends on corners if need be, the same way billionaires do with CVS and Walgreens. You're going to respect contracts. You're going to respect, every one of those Bill of Rights or any human rights that we determine that we have. But the only way to bring the world's billionaires to the negotiation table is leverage. And there's only one leverage we have. We don't have the money. We'll never have the money. They print the money. The only leverage we have is to walk away and say, we don't want your world anymore. And that's
I think we can get to a point where we actually don't need to bring them to any negotiation table. We can just undermine their wealth and make them normal people, get them down, to a normal level, and then we don't have to discuss anything with. I have nothing to discuss with Bill Gates. He's not my ruler or lord, or that's. I don't want to live in a world where we have these people, we have these power positions. I want to undermine it all. So.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But what I'm doing is I leave that table open only because I don't want to determine or dictate for anyone the world that they want or what they think will be their paradise. What I'm saying is, as a human populace, we have to walk away and to bring them to the negotiation table. And it is my hope what happens is what you just mentioned, which is people realize, no, I don't want you at the table, right? Bill Gates could come back to the table. The world's billionaires, Rockefellers, everyone who owns all the infrastructure, and say, hey, okay, we're ready to negotiate. It's my hope that people will have discovered themselves peace and freedom and love and just living their own life instead of the billionaires' lives. And they decide, no, we don't want you we don't need you, because we don't need them. At the end of the day, what benefit does Fauci provide? What benefit does Bill Gates provide? What benefit does
I don't see us needing him in our eco village. Like when we start growing food, when we start working in our circles, in our eco villages, I don't see where Fauci or Bill Gates or any of this, even Trump, comes into the picture. We're already functional. We have stuff set up. We're automating everything, and we're living a good life. I see no reason to, put more politics into that.
Yeah. That's
my future vision. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Larry was saying, we're thinking too small, and we should look at crowdfunding. I guess where I'm going with that, Larry, is that I'm looking big from the perspective that this is what 7 billion people should be considering doing, right? If 7 billion people are walking away and doing their own thing, it doesn't take, an awful lot of money. But if there is someone who doesn't have the money to move and live a cleaner life, then, you go to someone else who does. There are people who are happy working in the city, and they'd be happy to fund you to go build a peaceful place for them to live, and you build one either next to it or in your own little place. And so, we can work together with those people. Or you could do like, what Larry's mentioning, which is just as valid as anything else, is getting together with a group and building a community, as well, and do crowdfunding.
Start locally, people. Think globally, start locally, organize, and see what you can buy for what money you have together. See what you can actually do. Or the people listening to us here, if you want to like come in and help us, we're part of this coalition. We want to get things done, like Harsh mentioned, getting LLC, maybe a nonprofit, like somebody mentioned here about crowdfunding. Please come in and help us do all this stuff. It's a community effort, So
yeah. How do you convince a landlord to let you build a greenhouse on the property? I don't know that you can, bro. I mean, a lot of that's depending on, the zoning of where that's at. But if the zoning allows for a certain size greenhouse, then, I would, you negotiate with the landlord. I mean, what are you growing? Are you sharing with them? Depends on who they are. You got to make it a benefit to them.
Right. And many people might actually have the property. They don't know what to do with and would like somebody to come in and help them develop it into something like an eco-village type thing. Me, myself, an example, come on over to Norway. Those who like Norway is way too comfortable. We have socialism all the way up to our ears here. So we don't really need to do much, just sit around and watch everything go in automatic terms. But, in an unperfect world, I would also, be needing people to help me develop this thing into an autonomous thing as such. And I'm thinking in the near future that will be needed because the money is fucking up my country too, like all other countries. So it's probably coming.
There's an opportunity for decentralization, what you said right there. And so there's skill sets that all of us have. And we're either going to go along with the idea of the billionaires that, my skills are for me and you got to pay me for them. Or we're going to understand how the world is supposed to work, where no, I know how to do this. And I've got 7 billion cousins all across the planet. I'm going to do it and then maybe make a video teaching others how to do it. Or I'm going to put together a website and here's the information and how to do it. And so, and this is, certainly in my plans anyway, the few things I know how to do, is just going to be free information. Like I get that I'm colluding with the world's control and billionaires by demanding a sticker, right? If I give to my family members the information, the things that I've been learning over the past couple of decades, no, I'm going to give that information away freely, right? Whatever the system wants you to do, and in my opinion, whatever the oppressors want me to do, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And what they don't want me to do is to teach people how to make their own solar arrays or solar panels or, wind turbines or grow food. And so those things that I know, I already give as many of those away as I can that I have time to. It's easier to teach people how to grow basil and tomatoes and aquaponics than it is, to build, an effective solar array or hybrid, energy system. But that's coming. And that is my plan, is that, we have to give those away. But no one should be here waiting for me, right? There's plenty of free information online already. The only thing that stops us from reclaiming, our human sovereignty is us, our own laziness. And speaking of that, I'm still at slavery. I got to go pick some cotton. So y'all want to give us some last exit words so I can shut this down? We'll let folks go back to their their existences.
Oh, all I'll say is, you know what? The whole point of activism is to act, and it's just one random act of kindness a day. At some point, we can have all the knowledge, but if we're not doing anything, then it's all on ice. So
very valid. What you got for us, Thor?
I would like to say that in this context, divided we fall, and it takes a village, and everybody gets what I'm talking about. So just do it.
Get out there, go do it. Like from Thor and from Nike, and both have 4 letters, so you can trust both of them. Just get out there and go do it. All right, this is Gerard. Love y'all. Y'all have a great day. We're out. Peace.
Break the chains that bind me, 'cause I wanna break the chains that bind you. Do you wanna set the world free, have perfect harmony? Isn't it time for that? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people from the bottom to the top? Make modern slavery stop. Do you wanna let go of the prisoners? See everyone happy. We can have this and more if we open up the doors. Well, what do you think about that? Do you wanna free, boom, boom, free the people? Do you wanna free, boom, 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 free the people and Mother Nature too? Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free,